Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a different kind of stream tonight. Now, your first question probably is, aren't I 2 weeks late to this? And the answer is yes. Mostly because it's kind of been a denial sort of thing. Kind of like, if I don't watch these final theories, then it's not really over. So, I've had MatPat's final 4 theories on the back burner to watch for a while now. And, I don't know, I just felt like it was just too big of a thing for me to just go ahead and get this done. But the first episodes by all the new hosts came out, and I don't know why, even though I didn't watch these finales, I just watched the new episodes by the new hosts, and they were great. I very much enjoyed them. I never really thought to myself, man, I wish Matt were here. I never thought that it was lacking in quality. The content was good, the script was good, the voices were good. I just had myself a good old theorist time, which just woke me up to the fact that the theorists have entered a new era. So I still haven't watched these videos, and I'm gonna watch them in the order that Matt released them. And he released them in reverse order. Fittingly enough. So, it's style, food, film, and then finally the game theory. And I'm going to tell you one thing, I know that I am not going to keep dry eyes. I'm going to spend half of the game theories honking like a dang goose, because he's been a cornerstone of the internet, someone that I really looked up to. So, if you're still hearing me, it's Go. Hi. And hello there, Matthew. You're in your D&D campaign. No worries, no worries. I mean, this is something that I'm putting up for posterity's sake. I just realized that I usually make the backgrounds at the bottom like really dark, but for some reason I forgot to do that. Maybe it's just in honor of Matt that I'm making it really pop out. In any case, this is going to be my closure to the MatPat era of the theorists, and we are starting with the style theorists. Matthew, thank you for dropping by, and for everyone who's sticking around, let's get into it. I haven't really done React content to something that wasn't live, so you might see a lot of pausing, but let's get into it.
This is my final episode.
And by let's get into it, I mean I will actually turn on the desktop audio before we move into it. Let's move into it. And chat, if you don't hear the video, or if the video is drowning me out, let me know, please.
No more games. This is my final episode of Style Theory. So it's either win now or go home as a fashion failure. One final chance to take myself from novice to master. No limits, no budgets. And this time, it's live and in person. Are you ready?
So, based on the
Internet.
title of this video,
to
he's going to give himself a final glow up.
In case you missed it, it's not a joke. This is my last episode as host of Style Theory.
Let's go ahead and
I
turn
wanted
on
to do
captions
something
for
big
this.
for it. Something special for this
There we
last
go.
episode. You see, when I started this channel over a year ago, I knew that it was going to come down to this moment. I wanted to find out what the key to learning good style was, because I believe that just like anyone can become a theorist, anyone can be a style icon. You just have to do the research, figure out the rules,
he's going to give
hacks,
himself the ultimate
data
glow up,
behind
just like the
looking
title of the
sharp.
video
And when I
says.
don't know something, I track down someone who does, and then
I always
have them
figured that he
teach me.
was
So in
nice
part
and
one of our epic
fashionable,
four-way
but
stylist showdown, I turned to online stylists to see if the internet would once again
He's
hold
giving
all
it
the
one
answers.
final hack.
But alas, that road only
At
led
it.
to disappointment and me looking like a generic K-pop wannabe. That means that this time, I'm not hiding behind the safety of my computer screen. I'm bringing the experts to me, live and in person, into my home and into my closet. It all started in a closet, and today, that's where it's going to end. Stephanie and I are
You love talking
determined to
about that
find the
closet.
secret ingredient to elevating our style.
All the
And
way
as
back
a
when he just
surprise
had one
gift to all
channel.
you loyal theorists that have come along on the style journey with us for the past year, at the end of the episode, I'm going to have a super exciting announcement that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to change the world of fashion on YouTube forever. Editors, set
super
another
exciting
timer.
announcement.
Alright, that was was a bit more intense than I expected it to be, but sure, we'll roll with it. The pressure's on, theorists. We can't afford to waste any more time. The end is near. In our first round of this test, we pitted human against algorithm to take my and Stephanie's style to the next level. And didn't go quite as planned. I highly recommend you check out that episode before this one so you get the whole experience. But long story short, while we learned a lot through the process, we didn't get all the answers that we were looking for. While we got a few good items, we didn't learn how or why these clothes were meant to elevate our style. So this time,
a
we're
little
going
bit
to
of a
turn up
voice
the pressure.
test.
No budget,
Am I
no
competing with the
barriers,
video
no
in
backing
order
out, no matter how out of our
get my
comfort
voice
zone
out?
these outfits might be. So this time, we only have two things that we're judging. One, did they get our style? And two, can they teach us to be better at styling ourselves? Should be pretty darn simple, right? Well, we're about to find out. Let me introduce you to our stylist options for today, because theorists, they could not be any more different. On one end, we have Jamie, a part-time personal stylist who does this as her side hustle. Even though Jamie's been a close personal friend of ours for years, we actually had no idea that she did this. But apparently, Jamie's wanted a chance to dress us up for as long as we've
Can you hear me
known
all
her,
right?
so today she gets the chance. When she heard that we were doing a stylist episode, she jumped at the opportunity to throw her hat in the ring. And Steph and I jumped at the chance to learn whether or not a personal connection would be key to our experiment's success. Since Jamie's known both of us for years, she's seen what we tend to wear on a day-to-day basis. So clearly she should have herself a pretty good leg up on our likes and dislikes, which presumably gives her an advantage, right? I guess we're about to find out.
I like us being inverses of each other.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
You're the yin and I'm the yang.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie will cost us an initial fee of $150 per person for the initial consultation and lookbooks. Depending on how long the shoot goes, she also charges an additional $50 an hour and will also need to purchase the clothing from the lookbooks to try on. On the
Fashion's a
other
big
side of
hunkin'
our
deal.
style spectrum, we have our most
150 initial,
expensive option
50
of the
hours,
entire
50 for every
series,
hour
a
after that.
professional personal styling business from right here in Raleigh called Refined by Teresa. They pride themselves on their multi-tiered services and flexible scheduling, which, as a very overbooked guy, definitely appreciate. Taking a look at their in-person options, we went with their signature closet audit service, priced at $450 a person. Pretty hefty price tag, but it offered us something that no other service touted, the opportunity to learn. By coming in and going through our closet, they're hopefully able to teach us how to take our current personal styling to the next level. No shopping required. They aren't turning us into some new version of ourselves like we saw in the last episode. They're literally trying to take our existing clothes and give them a new, more fashionable life while figuring out what gaps exist in our wardrobe.
Dang.
If they're able to pull it off, well, that could be a game changer. But to reap the benefits,
I don't even know what someone could do with my closet.
Had to return to our personal purgatory.
I have a lot
filling
of
out the fashion
I have a lot of
Woo!
flat
Okay,
colors
last
and
Oh my gosh,
Hawaiian
$500
shirts.
later.
Okay.
Our first
That's
one, this
something
took
new
almost
that
2
I've
full
adopted.
hours to get through, and by the
I
end,
don't know.
we were
I got a
over
loud
it,
shirt
OVER
one time,
over it.
and I just looked at myself in
So to
it,
save
and
us
I just
all
enjoyed
the
what I
trouble,
saw.
just speed run us
So,
through my and Stephanie's style. When it comes
that
to
seems to be
theft,
part
there
of
are
my
3
brand,
words
these
that
Hawaiian
really encompass
shirts.
our looks: comfortable, quirky, and classic. When it comes to the shapes and silhouettes that Stephanie gravitates towards in her wardrobe, she definitely prefers to keep it classic. So our stylist should be steering clear of very asymmetrical or super revealing items.
Do you have any concerns regarding modesty?
Please, no nipples. Nips out. Please, no nips out. There we go.
Codpiece though, all in. Stay away from the nips, but codpiece.
But while her silhouettes might be classic,
Base.
where you do see Stephanie start to show off a wild side is with patterns. Stephanie loves a cute, bold pattern. Whether it's using color blocking or putting cute pasta shapes with faces onto a sweater, she is all in for that. And it needs to be comfortable, meaning no scratchy or stiff fabrics. If she can't take a cat nap in this thing, it is out. When it comes to some of her favorite pieces, sweaters, and more sweaters. As long as they come in fun colors,
I
or with a
had
nerdy
a
design,
good
you are
sweater
a winner in her
phase.
book. Lastly, as a
I don't even know what
petite
this is that I'm wearing right now. I think it's a sweater with a zipper.
And then over here,
And
you got me. the guy
ever
who's
since
so
I put this
fast that I
red
got
thing
on
on for the
these
first
amazing
time,
from the Barbie movie. I
it's
love
just
bright, bold
been
colors. I appreciate
true
pieces
love
that
since
make it
then.
look like a rainbow just puked on your chest. I mean, for the past 10 or so years, this bright red jacket has become my go-to uniform. Speaking of, I love jackets. Outerwear in general. Honestly, the only thing I might like more than jackets is Diet Coke. I guess my family's in there too. Anyway, as I learned about myself in the last episode, I tend to lean towards structured items that
the
give
family
me a
that
casual,
he's
unique,
retiring from
professional
YouTube
look.
to
When I look at what I'm
spend more
normally
time
pulling out
with.
of the closet on a day-to-day basis, for
Me,
ease and
I'm
simplicity,
not
I found
really.
a pretty
It
regular
obviously
t-shirt,
my
usually
preference for
dark,
outerwear
black,
depends
or
on the
with
weather.
some fun pattern on it with a bright structured jacket on top. Dark wash jeans.
During the
shoes.
warm
That's it.
times,
Even
no
though I can
outerwear.
very clearly articulate
During
that
cold
very predictable
times.
formula, I did learn something while filming this episode that was a surprising fact about my wardrobe.
You want to know where I get my favorite shirts from? Museums. How weird is that?
Yeah.
But if you
Yes,
look
yes.
at the most clothes that I have gotten
Then
over the last
again,
2 years,
if I could have a
from, like,
wardrobe full
an
of
art
gaming
museum.
paraphernalia,
Turns out that while Stephanie
I
and I had
would.
go-to items that we love, we didn't really have favorite
I have my
brands
Kirby
or
shirt and I have my
stores
Mario
that
shirt.
the average consumer.
I think one of the problems is that we don't have go-to brands, actually. I think
Yeah.
what we're discovering here is that we need go-to
Target
brands
keeps
and
on
we don't.
taunting me by telling me that they have a PlayStation shirt available, but I can never find it. It's just a black shirt with the PlayStation logo on it, the classic PS1 PlayStation logo. I want that so badly. I want it injected into my veins, but you never have it.
Influences the items that we're picking when getting dressed in the morning. Even stuff about our aversions.
So, do you have any textile preferences or aversions?
Oh, that's smart. That's a really smart question.
Yeah.
And while Stephanie and I are certainly down to clown with any fabric, we did really appreciate that Jamie was looking out for her clients with questions like that. Once we got over to Teresa's questions, it was clear that she was here to do one job: teach.
I would
Yeah.
like to learn more about the following.
There are
How to
certain
shop on my own.
fabrics that I myself
How to
am
accessorize,
averse
How to
to.
use my clothing in
I
multiple
mean,
ways. How to
I could-
elevate my look.
I only feel comfortable in cotton. Anything else, it just gives me the
I'm not
heebie-jeebies.
gonna lie about this. My hopes
I need
at this point
I need to
are pretty
acquire
high.
certain
Like, the
tastes,
feeling I get
especially when
you
it
take
comes
the time
to
subscribe
clothing I
to the
wear.
channel. While it may be the end to my time hosting, it's not the end of the channel by a long shot. Style Theory ain't going anywhere, my friends, and to make sure that you never miss an upload, you should smash that subscribe button. That way you get notified every time
Already
a new
have.
video goes live. Like the one that we have
You
coming up
should
next
too.
week that's gonna put Amy into a bit of a hairy situation. Can she wind up shaving the day? Well, it's all to answer a question that you've been asking us for months. So go ahead, subscribe. Become a part of
I
one
now
of the
understand what he
fastest-growing
means
communities
by
here on
all those
YouTube, and
puns.
prepare for all the amazing adventures that Amy has coming up in the new generation of Style Theory. But for now, it's time to return back to my closet. And as the sun rose on day one of our
Back to his
Zion
closet.
shoot, we were ready to be
More,
wowed by the
more
professionals.
recording.
All right, so we are here with Teresa and Lauren, and you guys have been doing styling for how long?
Well, about 10 years now for me. Refined has been in business for 5, and Lauren joined me 2.5 years ago.
But they have a wealth of experience, certainly way more than we have, and we are so excited
So,
and a little bit
is
nervous
this
to have you
actually
guys here in
their
our
closet?
We'll be
Behind them is all of their
I'm gonna
clothing.
hold you to that,
They have some
Teresa.
nice clothing.
How do you go about bridging that gap from being strangers to like, hey, now you're my trusted fashion advisor?
Well, it depends on what service you're interested in. So today we're going to be doing a closet audit where we're focused mainly on what you already own. So with that, it's just getting to know someone's style, how they're wearing things now, their lifestyle, and how we can take that to the next level, how we can elevate it and make it more interesting, more effective.
I should look into that survey that they
I'm
took on at
super
the
excited
beginning.
to sort of get another perspective and get a sense of someone else's outside observation. Of
I remember when
how
jeans were
how
first
dressed
catching
and what
on.
would, maybe what
I don't
would
know if
dress.
they were
That's
just
something that
catching on,
everyone
or
has a really hard
I was just
time
expected to
of
wear
getting an
jeans more
outsider's
often.
perspective.
I had such an
So
aversion to wearing them,
valuable because you get to see yourself in the
and now I just
Starting off right away,
slip
they
them
really
on
leaned
naturally
into
as
the
I breathe,
learning
like anyone
process.
else.
And as we all know, I love learning. Teresa and Lauren really wanted to dig in and understand us so they could give us the best advice possible. And I was ready to bear it all. At least bear all my wardrobe. To make things easier, we actually lined up a bunch of our clothes that are usually stored in drawers or hangers behind the camera setup, so it's usually not this much of a mess in here. I promise. During the closet audit, Teresa and Lauren went through all of our items, removing anything they thought didn't serve us anymore. It could have been because of the fit, the color, the vibes. If they pull it, we donate it. Or at least that's the way they normally work, making sure that any lightly used clothing is going to those in need and not just being
I
wasted
probably
in a
don't
landfill
use
somewhere. And,
66% of my
first,
wardrobe.
that I need to take a moment to apologize. I've been hiding something from you this entire time.
Oh, no.
I've gone through a closet audit like this before, and it was not pretty.
So true story. I had a closet audit like this, but more so it was a closet intervention.
He was a resident assistant for freshmen. So the people he's RAing for are younger than he is, and they staged the intervention. There was one pair of shorts and 2 t-shirts left at the end.
I was gonna say, yeah,
That
no.
was it.
It
Yeah.
was terrible,
wow.
and it sucked. But I felt so much better and more confident on the other end about
there you go.
understanding my style and what was and wasn't working. When I'm walking around with a bunch of Reebok windbreakers that are 2 sizes too big, or pleated pants that look like I ripped them off of MC Hammer.
Not 1 pleat, like 8 pleats.
A lot of volume in the crotch area. My groin is ballooned all over the place. You know, teenage MatPat's like, wow, this is making me look great. And then literally everyone around me is like, wow, that guy looks like a weirdo. And one thing that over the last couple days of filming, since we filled out the survey, we feel like we fit into this uncanny valley of style.
We feel a bit stuck in this middle space right now.
And that's kind of the beauty of like personal
Yeah,
style.
for
is
the lion's share of my teens, I wear a black jacket, which looked a lot like this red
I find
one.
a lot that people who are constantly
And just a
chasing the
flat
next
colored
new
shirt.
trend are always going to look dated. When you look back at pictures, you're going to be like, oh my gosh,
I don't know
what
much
was I
about
thinking?
fashion.
Because you were wearing everything that was popular at one time instead of really cultivating a complete wardrobe that really feels like you and things you really love.
Feeling a lot better about the purge that was about to occur, we were ready to dive in.
Let's kick off the closet audit. First impressions, I'd love to get your take.
I would say organization-wise, 10 out of 10.
Hey!
I really...
Type A is coming through again.
Yes,
Our
yes.
overachieving.
I appreciate the categorization. That makes it easy, not only for me, but for you.
Would you say, like,
I have no
at a very
categorization.
foundational level, like,
Well,
even if you do nothing
have-
else with your wardrobe,
I actually do have
like,
categorization.
categorize it
Work
or
shirts,
sure.
Hawaiian
Think about
shirts,
something
everything else.
called the SASK method. Break down your wardrobe first by season, by occasion, by style, and then by color.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of times just removing
Season,
everything you can't
occasion,
wear right
style,
now
color.
from what you're looking at every day
Yeah.
just makes it so much easier. There's a lot less clutter to rifle through to find what you're looking for. Also separating by occasion, having like your work wardrobe here and your everyday wardrobe here, so you can kind of
Hey,
like zero in on things.
I'm more
that
ahead of the
maybe
curve than I
cross
thought.
over, and that's totally fine.
They were speaking our language. Organization, categories, scientific methods. All we needed was a color-coded Excel sheet and we'd be in heaven.
Since I've been through this before and I've had that Band-Aid ripped off
Yes,
before,
yes.
you can
We'll
you can
ease
start with
in
me.
with you. We've heard that the t-shirt and the fun jacket's kind of like your go-to.
There you go, more
formula,
camera.
Yeah,
right?
that's very easy for me. I actually change clothes probably 6 times a day because of the different amounts of filming that we're doing. A jacket and an easy t-shirt is very easy for me to swap between a lot of different outfits. That's kind of the comfort zone that I've fit in.
That
So
Mario
today
Kart
we can
t-shirt,
try to
I don't know where you
create
got
one
it.
or two different formulas that
That'd
are
be great.
easy for you to go to, and also identify some ways to style these things a little differently. For example, like this.
Yes.
Do you wear it often?
That is a souvenir item that I got from the Harajuku district in Japan. I love it, but yeah, when it comes to like actually wearing in a day-to-day
Yeah.
setting,
It looks
not so
amazing.
much.
So
Talking
is
about
this something
loud
you would
garments.
want to wear more, or in your mind is this more just like I have it because it's a memory?
If I could figure out a way to wear it more often, that would be awesome. because I love the color, I love the vibrancy, but I also know it's a very extreme piece.
Maybe there's something we can do today that will allow you to get more use out of.
Yeah, the spooky clown face pattern, we can make that work a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, there is clown faces on here.
Yeah, something about the hot pink clown face jacket told me that I was
Oh.
probably going to be Teresa's most interesting
Yep, there it is.
client. But hey, she's a pro. So if anyone can figure out how to find styles that coordinate with spooky clowns, it's going to be her. Teresa really had a keen eye for finding new and interesting ways to mix and match our clothes that we already had. For example, I have a number of button-down shirts that I only wear for formal occasions like weddings, and tend not to wear them for anything other than that. But Teresa suggested that I take one of my sweaters and layer that on top for a brand new look, and it totally worked. I gotta say, I really appreciated how supportive our top-tier stylists here were. Rather than just being like, oh, you should get rid of this, or, oh, that's ugly, Teresa made sure to ask us what we really liked about each and every piece. If we
Taking that
liked it and
whole
wanted to
shirt
wear
and
more,
just
well,
having
she
the
would put it
collar
aside and
out
figure out
to
a way work
contrast
later.
with the
And when
jacket.
she did think that it was time for me to
Fascinating.
let an item go, she had a very gentle way of making it known.
So this,
Yes,
do you wear it much?
I haven't in years.
Okay, good. Let's get rid of it.
Okay.
It's a little dated.
It's my safari shirt.
It's not super interesting, and I think that, and you'll hear me say this a lot, like, I think you're too cool for this shirt.
We ended up spending over an hour meticulously going through
I just saw a
every
gray
item in my
shirt.
wardrobe. We found a couple of items that
So-
it was time to let go of, but we also picked out
I'll
a
let
couple
the
pieces
fashion
that I
icon
really
up. Was
wanted,
he
but
was he
really
tossing
didn't know
away
what we were
some
wearing. And Teresa
Mario
was prepared
Sprite
to give us advice on
shirt?
how to wear them, but first we had to go through Steph's side of the
Dang.
closet.
What's your form?
I hold on to
So the
my
months between
Mario
September
shirts
and, like,
very
April,
closely.
I'm a jeans and sweater gal. I'll have visual interest up here, and I'll tend to go pretty boring on the bottom. I love to incorporate fun shoes, but because I have a kid, because I'm walking around all the time, the really dainty high heel like part of my life, that's in the past.
The metallic pink platforms?
You don't wear those? No, those are okay. So we went to the premiere of the Mario movie, and I went hardcore peachcore. So
okay.
it was all pink, and those
Peach
were the
core.
shoes for that.
That's
particular
amazing.
moment.
I already
So-
put together an outfit in my head. When we first got here, we were kind of playing around with those shoes.
Ooh.
So-
Oh, I would love an excuse to wear those again.
Teresa being drawn to the pink platforms definitely gave her a couple of points in my book. She wasn't afraid of some of the wild and crazy options that existed in her closet. In fact, she was trying her best
I kind of
to
want to
lean
have one
into
of these
that.
audits for
Why?
myself.
Because she could tell that those were the items that
Not
Stephanie
only to
and I
make some more
really
room,
enjoyed. I could
but
see the gears working
to make
in her
more out of
mind.
my
She tried to find
wardrobe.
ways to make these difficult items into new fashionable attire. And that definitely included ditching things that didn't quite suit our current era.
So this was Stephanie when she worked a desk job. At the time that I bought this was an investment piece for me. This is Banana Republic. This is not a $20 shirt. This was like, whoa, a $35 shirt. I still,
Oh,
in
man.
my brain, view it as
35
a really
bucks.
nice piece I have, even though looking at it now, I'd be like, I would never pick this up off the rack. Same with this piece. I haven't worn it in a while. I put it on when we went through our wardrobe, and I was like, this still looks okay. I was like, it's not covered in cat hair or pills, so can't I just keep wearing it?
You know that the baseline is pretty low when it's, is it covered in cat hair or pills? Also, just for the sake of everyone at home, when we say covered in pills, we're not talking about like medication.
No, like the little linty pills.
Oh,
Each of Stephanie's pieces,
yeah,
saw what worked,
yeah,
what we
I'm
wanted to
very
elevate, and what
well
could get
aware,
the axe.
well
It helped us
aware
find
of
a lot
those
gaps
linty
in our
pills.
wardrobe.
Do you have a turtleneck? There were a few things where I was like, if she had a black turtleneck.
I don't know. We can identify a gap.
But one thing I know we'll never succeed in
Turtleneck.
getting Stephanie to do, remove a price tag.
Why the tags
I do not have
on
any
it?
Don't take the
turtlenecks.
tags off your clothes.
Between the two of us, we filled up an entire clothing rack of pieces that we loved but needed help learning to style properly. So Teresa and
Chapstick
Lauren combined their
ASMR coming
fashion
in.
powers to give our old clothes new life. And I, for one, was excited to see what they had in store.
Okay, I'm standing in the hot seat, and I gotta say, I love this. This is so good. And again, it's all stuff that I already had in my
Oh.
closet and
He's
didn't
wearing-
use.
he's wearing
Like,
something
these
that he was
corduroys, I
advised
haven't
on.
worn them since I bought them. This shirt I've only reserved for formal events with the family that are too boring for my other fun shirts. It brings such fresh life to these pieces that I had no idea what to do with.
It's like getting new clothes without getting new clothes.
It also
Great.
feels significantly less easy.
That right there, that was a big win. With nearly 11.3 million tons of textile waste ending up in landfills each year in America, learning
Some
to
nice,
reuse and get
use
like
of
the
a
clothing that you
monochromatic
already
get up
have
there.
Not only helps you save money, it can also have a large-scale impact on the environment. Don't you love it when everything comes together?
So this is me in my first outfit. This is the a casual look. Again, same as Matthew. This is taking stuff that was underutilized in my wardrobe or never even got seen and putting it together in a way that feels super comfortable. I do like these shoes, but I never would wear them with a pant like this. I've never worn this open like a cool Miami grandpa. I love this.
I was gonna say, I have not seen you looking this
Wearing
relaxed.
it
Even
up,
in your
wearing it
relaxed
open on top of a
clothing,
flat colored
you're
shirt,
not
huh?
this relaxed.
You ever thought about doing
It
that?
embodies your sense of style and your personality, but in something that feels easy, but
Yeah.
still looks put together.
The outfit was given Palm Beach Barbie, though I was still looking for my Kenspiration to show up in this outfit. Maybe we'd have a bit more luck in the next one.
All right, outfit 2. This one, a lot more extreme. And I like how this has come together.
Extreme is
You're
right.
mixing a really extreme pattern with another really extreme pattern. And I'm curious.
Oh,
how
he's
you
layering.
I
yeah.
worry that if I were to
Layering
try
extreme
to
on
recreate something
extreme.
like this or do something similar, that it would become like super.
I like how the black of the
cluttered,
pants
confusing.
and the black of the sleeves brings all the attention to the center.
A really easy way to start mixing patterns is to just stick with patterns with the same colors. If anything
Patterns
has
with the same
two or
colors.
three colors, finding another pattern that has at least one or two of those colors represented will help. And then you want some diversity in the size of your pattern. So a smaller pattern with a larger pattern. So here your shirt has a little bit of smaller, more busy pattern, whereas this is like a huge graphic.
Even though we all agreed that the outfit wasn't perfect, the lesson still stood. I've always liked bright colors and patterns, but whenever I tried to mix them before, it ended up less maximalist and more just maximum eyesore. Teresa was able to set me up with a formula that I could follow, kind of like the Pythagoras of personal styling. Next outfit.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Here's outfit number 2. Again, very unexpected. I feel like we've both taken a step into the louder end of the spectrum, putting together this vest, which I love,
Man.
tucking it in, which
I
is
have-
something
I have
never would've
no
thought,
eye
but
for
gives it a
outerwear.
whole other level
I
of
just wear my
structure.
shirt,
Putting it with a polka
jacket
dot
on
here
top.
and a polka dot
There you
here
go.
Not something
Then
I
again,
ever
I'm
would
not
have done.
usually
And I look at
fashion
myself and I'm
conscious.
like, oh, this is so fun. I'm really enjoying this. I like looking at myself in the mirror. I make myself smile. This is a big win for me.
And because we were all having so much fun playing dress up, Teresa and Lauren actually threw in a bonus outfit for both of us free of charge.
This is it. This is awesome. I love this. I love this outfit. I think it's so cool. It is so fun. I feel so fresh and hip and alive. I've had these pants
Alive?
in my drawer for a long time, but I don't know what to do with brown pants. You have allowed me to find a jacket and an outfit and a complete ensemble here that uses them and makes me feel cool wearing them.
Matthew wears brown.
Matthew wears brown!
Matthew wears
You enjoy
brown.
wearing a neutral? A khaki? This is actual witchcraft. Steph was also feeling the magic.
I was told that no
I have
arms
any
needed
khakis?
in this one. It's more of a cape situation.
Exactly.
This is a really easy outfit for me to
She's
wear.
got
These are
that,
jeans that I've had, and
she's
I
got that
love them.
One
They're all
Piece
fine.
marine
Same goes
drip
with the
going
shirt. I
on.
really like this one. This is one I've had for a while and that I also really enjoy.
Balancing
I don't
her
always know the
jacket
right
on
thing
her
to pair with.
shoulders
then
and leaving her
I've
arms
gotten to
free.
break out shoes that I haven't worn in years. I love these shoes and I just haven't had a moment where I thought that they looked sophisticated enough, but actually together, I think this all looks really nice.
Sure, they had the advantage of using our own existing clothing, but each look gave new life to pieces that had been sitting around for years, waiting to be worn. Not only did they give us the building blocks to do this,
This
by
is
ourselves,
inspiring me
they
to
were able
look
to give
to
us
take
clear,
a deep
concise
dive in my
reasons
own,
for each outfit they were
closet.
making, each item that they were removing, and even taking some of our most wild pieces and turning them into something that felt more wearable. In total, we spent $900 for the 2 closet audits, and $0 on new clothing items. Though Teresa did provide us with a post-mortem on what items she would recommend we get to fill in the gaps in our wardrobe. All in all, it was a big win for both of us, which meant it was time for our final option. We were turning to someone we knew, someone we trusted, someone who had seen us on our good days and our not so good days, to see if that personal connection with us could unlock the
Took down the,
entire puzzle. The piece that
video
was still
audio
missing,
just a
pushing us out
little
of our
bit more.
comfort zone just enough
I'm looking
to
at
take style to the next level.
the audio
Today we're joined by
balancing,
Jamie Daniels,
and
who is a long-
I'm equal with the game, which is not what's supposed to be
What's
happening.
especially cool is that we
The
didn't
game,
know
the
that
video.
this Jamie existed until just recently. It only came to our attention that you've been doing this for what now? 3 years?
3 years now.
That ribcage slitter
Well,
is
every fashion
heat.
started with my mom. My mom was a businesswoman. She worked for a Fortune 500 company, and so she always wore dresses, pantsuits, skirt suits, heels every single day.
She's
So
a stylish lady.
She is. She's so stylish. I always wanted to emulate her style. I was encouraged in college to go into a career in either medicine or the allied health profession, so I kind of did that, but I always missed fashion. So I started creating these OOTDs, and people started giving me compliments. My family just encouraged me to do this as a side business, and so I've been doing it for the past 3 years. I just love fashion.
Makes me wonder what I could do as a side business.
From their fashion too.
Over the
Well.
previous week, Jamie had taken our survey answers and designed each
I was
of
kind of
our
hoping that the YouTube thing would be a side
casual,
business, but
professional, and formal options.
So first,
I'm not exactly throwing my weight behind it.
Stephanie brought this opportunity to me. I immediately went home and I scribbled down so many different things, like designers that I thought would really work for Stephanie, coquettish, girly, with fun quirks, different type of accessories that Stephanie would have.
Immediately, we could tell the amount of thought and planning that went into Stephanie's lookbook. Unlike what happened with the fiber stylist, Jamie wasn't just trying to get Stephanie to fit a mold of pre-selected items, she was trying to fit the items to Stephanie. As for me, well, I'm a blank
Is it
page.
just that?
Just bright colors and leathers.
What can I say? I'm a simple man, I have simple, vibrant tastes. And then she said something unexpected.
I want to go back to Ken. There's so many different Kens. So I went back and watched the movie just because of you. It wasn't a bad reference at all because there's so many different Kens. There's beach Ken, there's formal wedding Ken, villain Ken, Ken in leather, mermaid Ken. I tried to find a tail for you. It would not come in time. I was really excited about
And
it.
that would have been great.
Yet even with no mermaid look, Jamie did it. She gave me the Kenergy that I was looking for. At long last,
Kenergy.
someone understood the assignment.
Everyone
But
loves their
before we
Ken.
could celebrate, we needed to go through the lookbook.
Okay, so take us through the lookbook.
When I think of you, I also thought of Back to the Future for some reason.
It is one of my favorite movies of all
I
time.
actually think that's so on point. Like, it's nerdy and sciencey, sure, but it's also whimsical and like kind of tongue-in-cheek, which I think embodies a lot of your vibe.
As we started to scroll, I think our reaction
I never
was
noticed
all-
that Doc Brown was dripped out
She
in
was
that
setting up some baby
poster.
steps to ease us out of our comfort zone.
So is this jacket also for me?
Yes, it is. I thought it would be a great way to kind of get you away from leather.
That's fair.
Speaking of jackets, it turns out
Get away
has
from
been
her.
the
Thank
jacket
you.
influencer this entire time.
I already knew you also had a very structured jean jacket
Yes,
in your wardrobe.
I love
that
it.
everyone should always
I've had it
use.
for years.
I bought one just because you had one.
Look at you styling.
There was a while back when I bought a bunch of
As we
like
browsed
jean
through the rest of
vests.
Jamie's lookbook selection,
Wonder if
we
I
were
still
happy to
have
see
them.
a wide variety of interesting and quirky options that we were excited to try on. Once again, Amy and Ash teamed up to shop for 2 outfits each for us to try on, picking items that they felt best showcased what Jamie had to offer while still pushing us out of our comfort zones. Starting with something that would truly make Ken proud, a pair of pinkish pants. Kind of more red, I guess.
All right, so casual outfit number 1. I gotta say, I like this one. I like this one a lot.
I think you look great.
The
This is
dark
great.
really lets the color pop
I
out.
love the playfulness of the shirt. I think the color is great. I think the contrast is nice. It's fun without being too loud and in your face. I like structure. That was the one thing that I hit over and over again on all the different surveys. I like things that are polished and structured. The white shirt does that, but the layer on top shows that, hey, I can also be relaxed and fun.
Structured but not stuffy.
Yep, that's exactly it, Steph. It only
Structured
took us 2
but not
giant
stuffy.
episodes and me leave
I
the
like
channel
that.
to finally figure out how to describe my style. Structured but not stuffy. Perfect. Someone make me a Pinterest board to commemorate it. And Steph at this point was bursting at the seams waiting for her turn.
Steph, go for it.
I love this cardigan on you so much.
I love everything about the top half of this, for sure. I'm in love with this sweater. This is like the new staple of my wardrobe now. It's so comfortable. It's
Does it have
oversized.
the label
I
still
really
on
like
it?
this skirt. Where I struggle a little bit is with the shoes. That's the only
That's not
thing.
important.
I completely agree with you though. Now that I'm seeing it like all together, I think I would pair it maybe with your loafers or some
Ooh.
booties. I think that would be a much better fit.
But I think that this is overall so fun. I love the slouchy look with the skirt. All I think I need here is maybe a slight adjustment in the shoe, and I think we're there.
And with 2 wins solidly under our belt, we were ready to take this party from day to night with our formal options.
I gotta say, I love this. I am so floored by
Oh,
everything
wow.
I'm wearing right now. I wish that we were hosting the stream
That big old bow tie.
this year, so that way I could bust this
Hey,
out. This is
as someone who's into the floral shirts right now,
I don't think I could properly
I'm
express
really
how
enjoying that
this suit.
that jacket
Jamie
drip.
knocked it out of the park. We all collectively agreed that the butterfly bow tie was a bit much, but once we took it off, it opened everything up on the suit. It was a complete win across the board. The fit was flattering, the shoes helped tone down the busy floral pattern, the lightweight cotton material meant that
I
it
was
looked
also
like a
immediately
store.
drawn to the
It
bow
even
tie.
went with one of my favorite things of all time, lore.
I also want to just call out immediately
Lore?
as I was getting dressed, I noticed some of the tags. The marriage might fail you, but this suit won't. That's dark, man.
There was even a tag on the pants that said "till death," but I didn't have time to solve the
Marriage
mystery
might
because
fail-
Steph was ready
might
to
fail you,
strut
but this
herself.
suit
I
won't.
also love this. I think you and I partner very
Oh.
well. This is
Lore suit.
Oh,
is
this little
incredible.
thing? So taking this off the rack, I would say extremely unexpected for me personally. Not something that I would ever pick up in the store. I love this color. I love a sleeve with some volume. I ended up thinking that this was really flattering. Like, I never look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you just have legs for days, girl. And look, legs for days. I think this is so fun.
And that was the word that we kept coming back to time and time again here. Fun. Jamie spoke to the part of us
Fun.
that just like to play with wild patterns and
I never
colors,
associated
which was
clothing with
exactly what we
fun,
asked for
at least
from the
until I
very
started
beginning.
picking
And
up
nothing
Hawaiian
more with our
shirts.
normal styles meant that you could
But who
easily
knows?
look at an item and
Maybe
know
there's
it was
more to
yours.
unlock
I
with my
think that this
potential
gives
for my
strong supporting
wardrobe.
evidence for the fact that if you have someone in your life that you trust and whose style you admire, ask them for advice. Get them to pick out a couple of items that they think might look good on you. As your friend, they want you to look good, and they can guide you along the path to testing out a style. So while she did end up being the most expensive option of the entire experiment, ringing in at a whopping $1,429, though to be
Ooh.
fair, she did buy an entire suit, multiple pairs of shoes, a giant party dress, and a ton of accessories, I couldn't deny that Steph and I loved the way that we looked. We finally felt pushed outside of the box that we'd been trapped in for years. It was our style, but a new evolution to our style.
I guess that is worth the price.
Slightly elevated from where we were before.
When you actually think about it, Steph and I fall into this weird middle area where, we're parents, and as a result, there are certain expectations with being close to 40. But we do not dress like close to 40-year-olds. And that doesn't really reflect our style. I think a lot of the stuff that we were trying on with Stitch Fix was probably closer to where people our age are expected to dress. Right?
Way to make me feel old, Matt.
In general, are expected to be in the middle of their career.
I have a feeling that I'm gonna feel ancient when we hit the finale of this.
Thinking about about becoming parents, so they're thinking about like buttoned-up school events, more like functional clothes where you can work with your kids, less stuff that's going to be fragile or delicate or require a lot of maintenance. And so you end up with these silhouettes and these outfits that are not too fun. There's literally like the dad uniform,
Not too
the mom
fun.
uniform, and if you're falling outside of that, you stand out at like school events, you stand out in places like kids' birthday parties. You also just stand out in the general public of people who are usually going into an office for a job, where we debate each morning if we're going to walk down to the office wearing shoes or not. So we fall outside of a lot of the expectations, and we don't want to dress to the expectations that everyone around us.
We're not just falling out from like people in our age range and our life stage in a lot of cases, but also in our industry. Our industry, this digital video world that we exist in, it is the era of TikTok and young teenagers and early 20-somethings, and we're not them. And so if we try to dress in the like most fashionable, trendy things that are circulating right now, it doesn't work for us because that's just not who we are.
That's
Yeah.
just not interesting
Yeah.
to us. I think we want to have a nice balance of like being
This is
fun
true.
and also thinking about pieces that are lasting. It's a tricky balance to strike.
Taking into account our experience in the first episode with Fiverr and Stitch Fix versus our two stylists today, there is one thing that is abundantly clear. Personal interaction, that one-on-one consultation time,
I
is the
completely
key
forgot that they
out
used
of
Fiverr
any
for their first
stylist.
episode.
Well,
That
Jamie
explains a
and
lot.
Marcel are certainly on the pricier side of the spectrum up front. Long term, we're talking about a different story. By teaching you and setting you up with the skills and confidence that you need to approach your clothing in a new way, they are saving you money in the long term. Because with Stitch Fix and Fiverr, you have to keep going back to them for more and more options, spending more and more money on service fees, and clothes that, let's face it, are statistically less likely to fit your style. Then you're stuck with a pile of textiles just rotting away in your closet that you're not going to be using all that often, and now you're out a significant amount of money on top of it. It is
So there's a right way and a
across the
wrong
board.
way to go
So
about
in the
this,
end,
is what they're
who
saying.
really wins? It was me and Steph.
I mean,
Because
there's a
we
right
were
way and a
on
wrong way to
this
go about
channel.
just
I'm
anything.
not just talking about the stylists. As my time on this channel comes to an end, as this timer finally ticks down to 0, I can't help looking back on the crazy idea that we had so many years ago.
Our feet shoes, but hey, that's just a theory.
A style theory.
Stay beautiful.
Stay beautiful.
Oh,
Ah,
that's great.
done.
Back then,
That was before. That was in the before times,
why
when coming up with blank theory was the
Of course,
meme.
This past year, I've gotten to test edible underwear, open your eyes to the crimes of some of the biggest sellers in the space, even permanently tattoo a checkerboard pattern onto my skin. I'm legitimately concerned that it is a permanent tattoo. That'll be a weird souvenir to take away from this channel, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. More than any of the other channels, Style Theory
Oh boy,
team together.
he's leaning into a sign off.
Expected. When you take mud baths and showers together and then film it all for content, yeah, that'll do it. It's not every day that you hear your analytics guy singing in the shower.
Take me out to the ball game.
But that journey's also been helpful for all of us in different ways. Ash's wardrobe, for instance, completely changed thanks to the Color for Skin Tone episode, and they look and feel great about those changes. 5 members of the team literally threw away their old makeup thanks to the Poison Makeup episode. I will never forget my sunscreen ever again, and I think we all pay a bit more attention to our flossing habits thanks to that toothbrush episode. And you know what?
Oh, the toothbrush episode was wild.
I may not be voicing the next generation of episodes, but I'm gonna be watching along in the background. Just like you guys, I'm gonna be there in the audience, learning and growing in my own personal style journey. Once a theorist, always a theorist. And honestly, this isn't gonna be the last time that you see me either. I told you at the start of the episode that I had a huge announcement. And no, I'm not rescinding my retirement or anything like that. But the team and I have actually
figured.
been working on a huge project, a huge event, Creators in Fashion. This is gonna be a never-before-seen type of
Creators in
event happening
Fashion?
here on YouTube. We're bringing the glamour of Fashion Week and runway shows to you, and we're not doing it alone. We're gonna be joined by tons of your favorite creators, both on and off the runway, as we turn the spotlight on all the hard work that creators have been doing. They're designing apparel, they're building businesses and brands
I'll
on
admit,
some of the biggest names that you
I
see.
don't really keep up with fashion
And we wanna
creators,
give them
so
all
this
the
would be
moment to shine
all
here
new for me.
live on the channel, on Style Theory. In just over a month, on April 25th, we're going to be doing the biggest thing to hit fashion in a long time. We're going to be live streaming the first ever Creators in Fashion event live, right here on Style Theory, and you're going to be a part of it.
MatPat out here leaving legacy after legacy after legacy.
Alongside Amy, as well as a couple other surprise appearances. So mark it on your calendars, my friends, April 25th, 2024. Creators in Fashion happening right here on Style Theory. So while I might be saying goodbye today, and I won't be hanging out with you here every week, I'm not gone forever. But I am confident that I'm leaving this channel in good hands. Amy has been here since the beginning. She loves this channel just as much as I do. I highly recommend that you get to know a little bit more about your new host thanks to the playlist that we put on the top shelf of the channel page to celebrate and surprise Amy. Even on my way out, I got a couple surprises up my sleeve. So good luck, Amy, and to all of you loyal style theorists. I'll see you back here on April 25th. And so for one final
Mark your
time, I
calendars.
say to you, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Remember, beauty is a science. I didn't use that one enough. I could have used it a little bit more.
Well, that's it. That's 1 out of 4. It's like constantly, it's like closing door after door after door. No more style theory MatPat for me. Alright, let's go ahead and queue up the next one. Alright, so first is a style theory, then I believe it's going to be the food theory next. Yep. So this one's called MatPat's Last Bite. Let's get this back on. Alright, so style theory. Taking a look at someone's wardrobe and having an expert determine what someone's personal style is. Just bringing out the most of whatever it is that you've done and maybe adding on a few more things. Being yourself and presenting your best self to the world. I'm sorry. I won't have a whole lot to say about the other 3 theories. Once we get onto the game theory, that's when the waterworks are going to come out. But for now, we're going to go on to the food theory finale. MatPat's Last Bite. Let's go.
So, this is it. It's the final episode of Food Theory, my friends. I'm sad, you know? 'Cause
I remember when food theory first came out, I thought he was jumping the shark. But good
There's so
lord.
many awesome memes like stuff the cream in me and eating a Christmas tree and hot sauce.
I can't believe
Yep.
it.
I know, Tati, I know. It's sad.
I remember
I'm
watching
sad.
food theory
It's
while
exciting
eating.
too, but it's a
Eating lunch with my brother, and we would just shake our heads and be like,
I'm pumped.
oh
that
wow,
you're
that's crazy.
Opposed to food theory.
Yeah,
No. I just can't believe that you're gonna be gone, and I'm never gonna redeem myself for that stupid cake. Floam, nightmares, forever.
Wait, so hold on. It's my final episode, and you're just focused on your prime cake episode?
Oh, the prime cake, yes.
You could make me a goodbye cake.
I can't.
Sure, I guess.
I can have a redemption arc.
I mean, it is my final episode, but
Look at that sheer glee on his
Right
face.
here. I got an idea.
I know they're playing a bit, but
oh god,
it's a good bit.
I'm gonna regret this.
MatPat's Final Food
Hello,
Theory.
Internet. Welcome to Food Theory, where it's time for my just desserts. You know, when it comes to the 4 channels, Food Theory has always held a special place in my heart. Game Theory was the first, it's seen everything. Style Theory has always been about the team, it's also the baby of the group. And Film Theory, it's Film Theory. I'm joking, obviously, but that is kind of the running meme about it. But Food Theory
Really?
is a bit more personal, you know? It was born in the middle of COVID. It's the first
Film
that
Theory is the redheaded stepchild. Oh my god, it's the red icon.
Completely different way, while also playing off my own personal fears and insecurities in the kitchen and with food. It's the one where I got to be wackier and a bit more unhinged from the usual format, and food, just by its nature, is more personal. I mean, for proof of that, all you gotta do is go check out
that
the Family
drier
Guy
episode,
2 weeks ago,
Unhinged
which was
is
one of my
right.
all-time favorite episodes that we've ever done across any of the channels. By the way, on that note, thank you for all your comments on that video. It's been heartwarming to read all those stories. If there's ever been proof that the comments can still be a place that's positive and uplifting, that one video right there.
That made me feel like I was missing an aspect of my life. My family has no secret recipes.
It's been really beautiful, so thank you. Thank
Then
you
again,
for sharing.
I've
Anyway,
never
back
really
to that.
asked.
Knowing how special of a channel this has been, what better way to close out my time and transition over to the new host Santi than an episode dedicated to both of us? A celebratory cake for me, a redemption cake for him. You see, Santi's had a bit of a prime-sized chip on his shoulder from his last go-around trying to bake on this channel.
Yeah, out of all the new hosts, I've seen the most of Santi.
Really fun and exciting
He's just kind of
So,
wormed
here we
his
go.
way
Let's
into
get
my
the
heart,
second chance
so
at the validation that he's been wanting so badly.
I know it's in good hands.
Here you are, Santi. So that, my friends, is the challenge today. For Santi to make a finale cake. A cake that takes the best elements from the past 4 years of episodes and merges them together into one perfect bite. The ultimate food theory cake that
This is starting to sound like good
everything
Mythical
this
Morning.
channel stands for. Well, everything except for the split icing.
Ha ha, very funny.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure I clarified. Make sure we're all working on the same page here. So, how you plan on delivering us this one perfect bite, Santi?
Well, I figured I'd bring in a couple of members of Team Theorist, ask them for their favorite episode, and then use those as the key ingredients.
The energy is the same.
If I may borrow a phrase from John Cena, are you sure about that?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, they're not gonna make it easy on you. In fact, I'd expect them to outright troll.
Yes, hi, hello, it is I, head editor Dan.
I love that you always feel the need to clarify that.
You guys keep putting it in the script. I'm just reading the lines, Matt.
So, what's your favorite episode?
Well, that's easy. It has to be the Mountain Dew Pizza episode.
Rarely has there been a pizza that has actively made you want to brush your teeth after consuming it.
This is going to be really healthy. You're going to want to add this to all of your hot summer body diet.
Is that because it was one of the first ridiculous cooking episodes?
No,
Was it because that episode has the highest volume of puns per minute?
it most definitely was not.
Oh, I know it wasn't because of the camera work. That whole episode looked like we rubbed Vaseline over the lens.
If you must know, it's because that was the first episode I got to voice. And it gave me the chance to shade you in post the entire time.
Wait, who are you? This is my show.
It's me, head editor Dan. You hired me. He then added some food coloring to.
I remember them making a big deal about that.
Is what he wants me to say, but I know the truth. I see all the footage, Matt, and I know what really happened. He forgot to mix in the gel food coloring, and they had to scramble to try to put it back in. Here's the before, here's the after. Look, we're good editors, but we can't fix every mistake. Also, never say fix it in post, or I will come directly for you.
Oh my gosh, you are so right. I actually think that might have been the first episode that anyone outside of me got to voice. Must have just blocked that one out of my mind. Or maybe I was just delirious. Again, I was very sick for that episode. I mean, in total, I think there's been like, what, 4 episodes across the 2,000 videos we've done? No pressure there, Santi.
You do realize Mountain Dew is a terrible cake ingredient.
Yes, I do. Good luck.
As I was saying before,
Are they all gonna be like this?
oh no, not all of them, just most. Next up, it's Kai, our new social media manager.
Kai, what's your favorite episode of Food Theory?
My favorite would probably have to be the Christmas tree episodes.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well,
Oh,
good job,
goodness
Kyle. I
me.
just said you had to make a cake.
I wonder if they're
Didn't
gonna
say
keep
you
up that
also let
tradition.
other people choose the ingredients.
Or have they already
You did that
eaten
one
all
for
the
yourself.
Christmas tree
I'm
by
sorry,
now?
Kai. Please continue.
Thanks. Overall, it was just a solid narrative arc. Watching the evolution from the first year with you and stuff, just munching on the bark.
Yep, it's tree. It's me eating the tree.
My saliva is just getting sucked right into this stuff.
It smells like Christmas. Oh, it's so good. It's all so delicious.
So watching you make cookies out of them and pranking Steph.
It's literal sawdust.
I mean, it's what? How much sawdust is in here?
30% by weight.
And then finally getting to something
Oh,
that was
man.
actually edible and getting to
He
be a
was
part
wild
of
for
that
that.
was nice.
You know, it's not that bad.
Wow.
Green pine!
You do realize who created those recipes, right? It was me.
Cool. Well, bye.
Thanks, Kai. Next up, Amy. Amy, what's your favorite episode of Food Theory? Santi's gathering ingredients for a grand finale cake.
Favorite episode.
The editing on the PNGs is just...
Panera bread gloves. Because
You-
it brings
I
together
can
my
barely
2
tell
favorite
that they're-
things in the world.
they're
Fashion and
PNGs.
carbs. Honestly, I love them both so much. They're
So
perfect together, and
animated
they're
and
perfect
full
for
of
this episode.
personality.
Bread is perfect for the cake episode?
Yes, it is bread, it is cakes. They're the same kind of thing. One just has fashion sense.
Is it too late to quit?
Yes, it is. Thanks, Amy. Hey, Ash.
Hey!
What's your favorite episode of Food Theory and why?
Ooh, okay. My favorite episode is actually kind of a personal one to me. I really like the Oreo episode.
Oh, thank goodness. Finally, a normal cake ingredient.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. You know how our episodes are designed to teach people stuff?
Yeah?
Well, Santi's learning a lot today. Tell me about Oreos.
Alright then. Well, one, I was just really proud of the work I did in putting that whole shoot together. But also, man, did it serve some absolutely incredible memes.
Like, oh, look at that
Yep.
thick layer of cream in there. I want that thickness. Don't say that.
I remember busting the gut over that one.
I'll give it that. Oh yeah, you can see it melting. My poor fingies. It's hot on my fingies.
Poor Finkies.
Set it on the plate, they say. Don't burn your fingers, they say. Just blew it off, Jason. I know my saliva is heavy. Heavy saliva in the business.
My good dude, you were so questionable.
Continuing around the office, Lee gave us the diet.
There was something in the
test
Oreos
because
that
he was
episode.
addicted to that sweet, sweet nectar. Josiah gave us Prime Exposed, and Tom added the TikTok favorite, pink sauce.
I hate you, Tom.
Okay, it could have been a lot worse. Just feel
Pink
like no one
sauce.
said
A
the
pink
fried
sauce cake.
chicken
Alrighty
episode
then.
Or the cabbage soup episode. But what about you, Santi? I'm curious. What's your favorite? You're the one taking over the channel after all.
I mean, I'm not doing myself any favors with this one, but it's actually the fries episode. Never order McDonald's medium fries, I think is the official title. It was one of the first on the channel.
Actually, it was the first.
I just like the science of it all and thought it did a good job of showing what this channel's all about.
I remember
In general,
that.
The fry episodes
Oh
tend to be
man,
really
feels
good.
like
Fries
yesterday.
and fries, another personal
I
favorite.
think we were not too far into the pandemic when food theory started
Is that
out.
enough ingredient inspiration for you?
I feel like I should quit while I'm behind.
You think you could find a way to fit it all into a cake?
I have some ideas.
Well, with everyone's favorite episodes compiled, it's time for me and Steph to head to the kitchen one final time. At least one final time on camera for content. It's not like I'm never gonna eat again. We were there to see how Santi might try to fit all of this into something even slightly resembling a cake. And as it so often does,
I'm
it
eager.
immediately got off the rails.
You define for Steph and I who are not in the bro
We're
community.
not bro dudes,
Yeah.
as it were.
So-
and so,
Bro?
can you explain the dap?
Yeah, if I were to get dapped up, what would I do?
For context, Santi had called Justin to get dapped up, and we were intellectually curious about what this mating technique was. Like researchers observing gorillas out in the wild.
It's in the hand motion.
You look like you're doing a little Edelweiss
Yes,
motion.
if you're a bro, you're too cool for a handshake, right? Handshake, you go in firm, up, down, release. That's how you do it.
That is the hope, yeah.
Yes, there.
Oh,
Boom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dap.
Dap it.
God.
Dap it.
Oh, I thought I've heard of dapping before. I thought they were saying dab me up, but dap
I
me
don't
up.
read people all that well, and so I can't just like flow with it.
You have to remember, cool peaks in high school, right? So you have to think about it like you're the kid in the back of
I
the
hope
class.
not.
You're not trying hard. You don't want to like go in with a lot
Hi there,
of
Bruno.
emphasis or anything. You just want to go just cup it.
Yeah.
You want to get the clap, and you
Are we
could
do-
do
are
that.
we doing
Clap,
but you could
fingers,
do that.
and then
like,
in.
You have to be relaxed with it. Like you wanna get a good clap.
Okay.
Nope. See?
Nope.
You're gonna go from here, and we're gonna clap like that.
Okay.
And then just that. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Ready? So just relax. There you go. Wow. Okay. Well, you
Hey.
exploded it, but that was a good clap.
I really try to avoid physical contact with young children entirely.
I do too.
That's
Hey,
what
yo.
I tune in for,
But if you're
Santi.
driving around and a kid just kicks a sweet gnarly tray, you're like, hey, dap him up.
I honestly can't tell if it's ironic or not. Is this a bit? I don't get it. Regardless,
Those
we
are some
have the
words.
ingredients. It's time to get cooking. But not before one final sick burn from Steph.
We're gonna take all of that and mash it into a monstrosity that we will call a cake.
You've called a lot of things cake in the past.
Right? And
Come
you called
around.
even more things calzone, and none of them were right.
You know what? You're lucky I didn't put ricotta in this cake. I was this close to doing it.
It would have made it closer to a calzone than anything
Oh.
before.
Oh, she got you.
Yeah, actually.
That was a good burn.
Sick burns indeed.
Hit me up with that dap, girl. Hit me with that. You got to practice the handshake. Got it.
See, now this episode's never gonna see the light of day.
So how did Santi expect to work all of these insane ingredients into one tasty, or if not tasty, at least edible?
Look at all
product?
these
Well,
dorky
Mountain
old
Dew and Diet
people.
Coke were set to be the sponge layers. Santi insisted on another round of trying to make frosting out of prime, and then there were the croutons.
Amy's favorite episode was the bread gloves. So
Ah.
we're gonna take the croutons, we're gonna pulverize them into a little bit of a dust.
Man, nothing says delicious cake quite like salad croutons.
It's actually really interesting because you have the airiness of
My curiosity is
You know
piqued.
what? You'll see. You will see. You'll all see.
I love it when a cake is described as interesting.
From the guy who also says that he doesn't like cake.
All right, Dapper, what do we got going on?
I'm gonna have you both pour in the respective fluids, and we're gonna pour them into the cake molds.
It's pillowy and cloud-like, actually. It's very fluffy, got lots of air in there.
It's so fluffy.
So the science behind this is actually really cool. Instead of baking soda and baking powder, our leavening agents are the sodas. In using the sodas, the carbon dioxide
I
actually
remember
released
making a,
creates those
cake
similar
once.
air bubbles and causes the cake to rise.
Lots of
Plus,
stirring,
it
mixing,
can
and heating.
incorporate the flavors
I mean,
of the Mountain Dew and the Diet
that's literally
Coke.
how a
It's
cake is
honestly all
made.
super cool.
With the sponges in the oven, Santi encouraged us to get some of our aggression out on the croutons.
Oh my god.
What can I say? Between FNAF lore and hot wings, I guess I have some pent-up rage from 13 years on YouTube.
I meant like
13
take the
years,
bag and
my guy.
smash it. Oh,
13
boy, that
years.
was manly.
A
I like
baker's
that.
dozen.
You were like, I don't care. Yeah, there you go. All right.
You're getting good at that.
Because you're like, wow, you are wildly efficient.
I am very pro therapy. I am also very pro punching.
That
croutons
reminds
raw.
me of when I started going into the job market, and
prime frosting.
my father wanted me to really get into the spirit of letting out a lot of energy and not being so
Very sweet. Ooh, very sweet on the front.
so
end.
neutral all the
Very
time.
sour on the back
So he
end.
had me just
very
really punch a pillow really fervently.
Interesting.
Release a little something.
Optimistic
Got a little bit more
about how this is gonna
personality
go.
out of me.
Woo! See. Anyway, that was my own private moment.
At this point, Steph and I were dismissed from the kitchen so Santi could surprise us with the final reveal. A few hours later, it was time.
How would you like this?
So I guess that was the prime frosting, and they liked it.
I'll lift it for you.
Was this like a small laundry basket?
Where did this thing come from? No cloche, no nothing. It's for my undergarments, but
It's boxer bags. Literally on our cake.
Hold up, I'm gonna save you on this one. Okay.
Yes.
This is the last time I can do this for you. Too.
Okay.
He chose this in commemoration of us cooking in a dryer episode.
Oh, there you go. Fully intentional.
there you go.
There's no dap up here.
Oh, dap.
We
Oh,
forgot
God,
in the
no.
course of
Dap
what
it
is
up.
definitely the same day how to dap up.
Yeah, here, dap it, bro.
Why do you hit my wrist? Like you miss my hand every time.
That's how you dap.
That was better. We couldn't get a smoke machine, so sorry for the lack of presentation there. But so.
Oh, that looks
This
gorgeous.
is really pretty.
Okay, so what happened here? What had happened was.
It's French fries.
Yes.
It's fries.
If you look at it from above, which we have that shot, it is the food theory ring.
That's the food theory.
Oh,
That's the quadrant.
that's gorgeous.
That was supposed
That's
to be.
beautiful. I love it.
I thought it was like someone peed on the couch.
Well, there goes.
Why would you put it there? Why would you put it like that?
Episode, Santi, but we haven't done like, can I drink my own urine? That's more of a Good Mythical Morning style episode.
Well,
Oh, you said it.
talking about
I said it, then you said it.
bodily fluids. No, this
It's easy to confuse what comes out of your eyes with what comes out of other parts of your
both
body.
salty, I guess. I don't know. So.
The yellow pea stain notwithstanding, we went a far cry from prim cake. Even down to these cute little crinkle cut cake fries on top. Such a cool detail. So with everything ready, it was finally time for my last chance to stab something on the show.
Ready? Can I stab the cake? Oh, that was satisfying. That was good. Ooh, slice.
Satisfying indeed. That was the word I had in mind.
Right through that double stuff.
So what we should see here, hopefully, is
Hopefully.
a nice.
I knew that I just heard swallow really hard.
It's like Santi in one moment just went through the entirety of puberty. What we should see here, hopefully.
It's the 5 stages of grief that you're hearing there.
This is my opportunity to do it. Ooh, that looks so good!
If any regular person were to see this, they would probably say, wow, what a delicious pistachio and chocolate cake. But nope, this is food theory. That is
Yep.
Mountain Dew and Diet Coke mixed with prime, spruce, and crouton. Yum yum.
Oh, good
Can't
lord.
deny that it actually looks great though. But obviously the big
Really
question here
does.
is how it tastes.
Makes me think of all the
This is why it's
times
time
that
to
I
get
spent
everyone on
watching the
team in
Great
kitchen,
British
ready
Baking
to
Show.
taste for the moment of truth.
It's very chocolatey, Diet Cokey, and rosemary. Interesting. All right, everyone,
Happy next chapter of food theory.
here we go.
New beginnings.
Food theory, bite.
After an awkward pause as everyone chewed and processed their feelings, the results were in.
Very thick.
Dense.
And they were mixed.
Acceptable. I got some crunch in mine.
Oh yeah.
Was there supposed to be crunch?
Do you not see the Oreos on top?
I
Gosh.
ate the inside.
No, I think you found the crouton.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
what about the
you found the crouton. There's
So-
crouton in there.
So the croutons are crushed in the middle for a little bit of texture, a little bit of flavor.
So you're saying the weird uncanniness of the crunch in the cake was calculated.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know.
Red gloves, okay?
Where was the ranch?
In the pantry where it belongs.
You know what, Santi? I
I really like it.
I like it.
I think it's pretty great.
So
Dang.
definitely
I think everybody on the internet wants to try some of that cake now.
But again, the assignment was to capture food theory.
They're gonna need to make several millions of those cakes.
Absolutely passed with flying colors.
I have to imagine at least
I
one
think
person
that
has tried
this cake
recreating that.
It's a perfect representation of the last 4 years of Food Theory episodes. It's not the tastiest cake I've ever had. It's not the most precise cake I've ever had. It's a little bit messy. It's a little bit homespun.
There's a lot of sugar involved.
A lot of sugar involved. A lot of weird flavors thrown in there. If I were to pick a cake to perfectly encapsulate everything that we've done here on our time, this is a good one. Thanks, Santi.
This is a good one.
I'm a kid who grew up scared of food. Home cooking for me was Burger King and Pizza Hut. When I started this channel, I could make popcorn on a stove and the occasional pizza. For crying out loud, my healthy food advice was to not order a medium fry at McDonald's. This wasn't ever about being the best chef or giving you the perfect recipe for fine dining. It was about this. It was about curiosity and exploration through food that might lead us down some pretty weird
Indeed.
and awkward paths.
You guys hop between. What is this?
It always ends up being a good time. And now I look at where we are. I look at where I am. I can make a delicious fried chicken better than KFC, or a perfect replica of my grandfather's delicious Polish soup. I can talk your ear off about the bioavailability of iron in spinach or the healthy fats in macadamia nuts. I've survived the world's most intense hot sauces and months without sugar and caffeine. I've literally fixed 2 cookbooks. I've made a delicious meal out of a Christmas tree and salted popcorn.
I've
with
seen
my
all
own
these
tears,
episodes.
which I could do again today. I've even cooked a juicy, flavorful, medium rare steak in a freaking dryer. And look at this channel, and I'm proud. I'm always proud of the theorist community across all the channels. But with food theory, I'm proud of me. I'm proud of my growth. I'm not scared of food anymore. I'm not scared of the kitchen anymore. And I understand more now than ever about the stuff that's actually going
Oh
on in
boy,
my body.
already feeling those tears. And from food theory of all things.
That's really special.
So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that brings us to a close here on Food Theory. Stephanie?
Yep.
Thank you for being my
All the
partner
memories.
for the last 4 years.
No problem. We didn't burn down the kitchen. That's all that matters.
I moved out of
So,
my parents'
thank you for that
place
journey,
at the
and
beginning of the
Santi, I look forward to
pandemic,
what the next 4 years
and
like.
food theory was like came
For one
out
final time,
very
remember,
shortly after.
Remember, say it with me now. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
So yeah, food theory really coincides with when I started a new chapter in my life. And obviously it's gonna continue, but now it's having a new chapter of its own. Oh. I moved out of my parents' place 4 years ago, and I moved. Is that my stream? I literally got my stream as a result. Then again, I watch my own videos all the time. I click on my own videos all the time for reference material and to get clip ideas. So I get myself recommended. That's crazy. Alright, that is the end of food theory. And yeah, the tastiest, most memory-filled cake I can imagine. We're already halfway done with all of MatPat's final theories. I thought this was gonna take forever, but in fact, it's going by so much quicker than I possibly could have imagined.
You know, film.
Let's go ahead and get film theory wound up, and the title of this one is "Don't Trust Your Heroes." What does that mean? We'll figure that out right now. Other Spider Dragon, I too love MatPat. Yeah, I love him just enough to fit to roll my face on the keyboard as well. Let's go. I can't believe we're already on the final film theory. I really thought that film theory was going to overtake game theory, and he's going to stop doing game theory in favor of film theory. But then things turned out the way that they did, and I couldn't be happier. There's so many YouTubers who start out on gaming, and then they transition over to something else. The only two who can come to mind are Brutal Moose and JonTron. They started off on gaming, and then they changed their format completely. Still great stuff, but, you know, it's always a sad day when a creator you enjoy just transitions away from gaming. They're doing something more, they're doing something that they resonate with more, but... And you can see that film theory tends to get itself a bad rap, is what MatPat is saying, so perhaps I treated film theory harshly. So, for the last time, MatPat's film theory. Let's go.
You know, film theory tends to get itself a bad rap. As the middle child of the theorist lineup, it tends to get overlooked or forgotten. So much so that it's become its own meme at this point. And yet, of all the channels...
I remember seeing that meme on the Reddit.
In my estimation, the most important topics. Don't get me wrong, you have plenty of silly episodes mixed in here, like How to Kill Deadpool...
Well, yeah. Film theory really gets to the heart of the entertainment industry.
We also have episodes warning about deepfakes, propaganda, net neutrality, copyright...
Game theory is niche when it comes to the entertainment industry, but film theory goes straight into the center of it.
Because, as we said in one of our recent theories, media is a tool that can enact change and influence public thinking at a global scale. The entertainment we consume, it shapes us and our beliefs, and like any tool, it can transform into a weapon if misused. Which is why today's episode, my final film theory, feels so important.
Alrighty then. Oh. I don't remember the other two episodes having their own title scrolls. How to Kill Deadpool is one of your favorites. It's a great one. Really got that. It really gave film theory its theorist energy, and it never let up since then.
Today I wanted to start off with a question. I want you to think about all the media that you consumed during your childhood, all the TV shows and movies that you loved as a kid. And now, with the perspective that you've gained as you've gotten older, can you name for me 5 good father figures from children's media? I'm talking about wholesome dads who want the best for their kids, who try really hard to teach them and nurture them and show them love and all the good things that dad should be doing. Legitimately, go down to the comments, type out who comes to mind, because I consume a lot of media. And I had a hard time making this list. Back when we brought Lee on as creative director here on Film Theory, this was actually one of the first conversations.
Media and creative in general just has parent issues.
Around the office, and people really struggle with it. I mean, it's not
wholesome media dads.
But it's shockingly hard. Our list ended up being Bandit from Bluey, Arthur Weasley from Harry Potter, Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender,
there you go,
from Lion King, and Goofy from a Goofy movie. But the fact that it took us a significant
and
amount
they
of time
use the Kingdom Hearts Goofy.
Telling. Fathers in sitcoms are usually bumbling buffoons, deadbeat dads, or need anger management. And it's not just a lack of good dads here either. Honestly, most of the male characters that you see across media, both young and old, they're not great. Classic cartoon kids are almost universally bratty, cruel, greedy, or inconsiderate.
I never really thought about that. I mean, I just thought that's what made interesting media, but when you put a critical eye to it, yeah. Classic Looney Tunes is wild.
Angry, they're violent, they're not good people. So why do I bring it up in my final episode? Well, as a dad, I've started to pay a lot more attention to these sorts of things in the media that I watch because I want to know if it's something that I can actually share with Ollie. And surprisingly, there isn't a lot that I'm super happy with sharing. And it all comes down to a lack of shows with characters that I actually want Ollie to grow up to be like. Now, I can't stress enough that we live in the most open time ever for children's entertainment. Newer shows like Owl House, Amphibia, and Kippo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts are given voices to historically underrepresented groups as both creators and characters. There is something in there for everyone, and that's awesome. But the pickings for boy characters that I want my son to try to be like, of male characters that I want him to look up to, they are mighty slim, my friends. That's kind of a problem. So today, I wanted to look at why. Why are there so few of these truly great role models for boys? Why, in this era where we have more choice in what we can watch than ever before, are there so few choices that have good male role models for my son to look up to? Well, after diving into the history and economics of this sort of media, it all comes down, as it so often does, to money. Surprise, surprise. Don't touch that dial, my friends. It's time to
tell me more, MatPat's.
So to start things Turns out it should be
As an
noted that
aspiring creator of media myself, I would like to know what I can be doing to breathe more life into the industry.
Or another until the age of 3. And it's important that they're encouraged to explore that at their own pace. The last thing we want to do is to sort kids who are still discovering themselves into boxes. And likewise, children can of course have role models who are not the same sex or gender that they are. It is awesome for boys to have
Stupid
role models
money,
who are women,
indeed.
vice
Root of
versa,
all
and
evil.
everyone beyond and in between the binary. I'm just talking about it today because I want to make sure that there are good examples set across the board for everyone. And right now, the male category, pretty severely lacking. And me saying that might come as a bit of a surprise, right? Like, there are a ton of male characters out there in media. They have been the bedrock, the focus of entertainment forever. So how am I
The
possibly
bedrock
standing
in
here
Fred
saying, "We
Flintstone."
need more male role models"?
Excellent
Well,
editing.
This is one of those episodes where just looking at the numbers isn't going to be telling you the whole story. A 2008 study from Television conducted across 24 countries found that there were twice as many male characters than female characters in children's TV. A decade later, a similar study from the Gina Davis
That makes
Institute
sense.
on Gender and Media found that roughly half of all episodes of children's entertainment had female leads. That is good news. Everything's balanced as all things should be. So what's
That's
the
right.
problem? Well, again, let me be clear. This isn't a case of where are the male characters. There are plenty of them out there. We are tripping over them. Instead, this is a conversation about the quality of those characters.
Indeed.
What's going on with the types of male characters that we keep seeing? Have you ever stopped and considered how many of them actually embody the traits that you would want a kid to emulate? At a quick glance, the modern era, it's seen a wide spectrum of overwhelmingly positive, affirming female and female-coded characters. You have everything from Doc McStuffins to the Miraculous Ladybug, Hello Kitty, Bluey, Luz from the Owl House, most of the gems from Steven Universe, Carmen Sandiego, who's apparently a hero now. Barbie just had
I
herself
remember
a
reading about
live
that
action
reboot.
adaptation,
It's
and
pretty
she's
cool.
also sort of a YouTube vlogger dishing out shockingly solid mental health advice.
Maybe I'm just being really unfair on myself. You know, I don't always have to be upbeat and positive.
Even parodies of the
Oh, wow.
self-reliant neo-heroine.
That's harder hitting for Barbie than I would imagine.
Ultimately get to be effective political leaders, excel at STEM fields, kick butt on the battlefield, and get the girl in the end. The fact that these characters exist, that is awesome. I don't want to take anything away from that. And if this is how we're overcorrecting for decades of women being trapped as damsels in distress or trophies, I am all about that. But then you look over at the boys, and things get a bit more complicated. Sure, there are some truly great and kind characters that I do want my son to look up to. For as much fun as I've had here on the channel saying that he's actually a ruthless businessman, Ryder...
Yeah, he's really giving this kid a hard time.
He's smart, he's resourceful, he's caring, he's a leader, and it was awesome that Ollie dug that series. Probably in part because he saw Ryder and wanted to connect with him. Same thing with Dipper from Gravity Falls. Also a win for being smart, curious, brave, and a loving brother. Also, there's a handful of solid early educational programming with male protagonists like Arthur, Thomas the Tank Engine, Daniel Tiger, though it's worth calling out how few of them are actually...
I have not seen an episode of Thomas the Tank Engine, despite him being a huge meme.
Come up in a conversation like this, right? Well, the problem here is that they tend to have a huge asterisk attached to their names. Captain America, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, the Ninja Turtles, they're all great, but the stories also involve a lot of war, crime, death, fighting in general. They tend to solve most of their problems through punching and physical violence. Aang, Luke Skywalker, Harry Potter, they're selfless heroes who do what they think's right no matter what the cost. But they're also sitting smack dab in franchises built on needing to be violent, fighting, often killing soldiers, stormtroopers, dark wizards. Not generally a drawback that you're facing from traditionally feminine skewing characters like Sophia the First or Elena of Avalor. And if they're not violent or surrounded by violence, well, very often they're just not good. Johnny Bravo's a big
shonen
old
anime
womanizer.
problem.
Timmy Turner's a whiny, spoiled narcissist. Jimmy Neutron's arrogant, destructive, mean to girls, and regularly uses his intelligence as an excuse for being a jerk to his friends. Even Phineas and Ferb, who are smart and resourceful and funny, are outright disobeying their parents each and every day of summer.
Wow.
Actually, the reason Ali wanted to stop watching the show, he was afraid of them getting in trouble for constantly breaking the rules episode after episode. I think you get the idea. Look at media through this sort of lens and suddenly
That's an
see
interesting
examples
perspective.
everywhere you go.
Straight from the
Just
mouth
to
of
get some hard
babes.
numbers in here. That same Gina Davis study that I mentioned earlier noted that male characters, they're more likely to be violent compared to female characters, and also almost twice as likely to be depicted as a criminal. Remember, we're not talking about fun characters to watch, or characters that you like. I think most of the examples I listed above fall into at least one of those two categories. No, we're talking about characters that are admirable role models for young boys. Characters whose activity we want them to imitate or look up to as they develop during childhood.
I wonder if the issue is that people don't know how to make stories for male characters, or that just male characters have been so hard codified that the only way to properly sell them is through these stories of war and conflict and saving the day, and that the people usually just don't buy into these characters if they don't have those out loud and aggravating traits. I mean, there's a difference between a character having flaws and a character just outright not being able to read a room and being selfish and unaware of themselves. But first pause of the video, that's because I didn't really know if I could get that thought out without missing anything important.
I also want to reaffirm, I personally like all of these shows and movies. There is no judgment here if you're a fan of any of these sorts of things. But they're just not shows that I can show Ollie until he's much, much older because of the implicit lessons that they contain. Boys are violent. You solve your problems with punching. If you break rules and treat people bad...
What was the editing there?
Hold on a second. Violent. You solve your problems with punching.
Oh my god. In the moment, I didn't think much about it. Oh, that editing is fantastic.
If you break rules and treat people badly, don't worry, there are no real consequences. You're the main character of your own show, and everything just works out well for you. So with all of that established, I think we can start to discuss why things have ended up this way. Because this has deep roots in the history of pop culture. The long and short of it, when you start to unpack the old media that inspired our modern media, you find a lot of old-fashioned assumptions that end up persisting in ways that you wouldn't expect. Though there have always been trickster boy characters dating back centuries and cultures all across the world, the Western pop culture version of this archetype really took shape in the early 1900s with the creation of Peter Pan by novelist J.M. Barrie, though you probably know him best from the 1953 Disney cartoon. I cannot overstate how influential this one story was. Everyone and everything from Steven Spielberg to The Legend of Zelda was influenced by Peter Pan. That matters.
Not too surprising.
I'm sure you know the story. Peter Pan's a boy who doesn't want to grow up. He has magical powers and finds other children who also don't want to grow up, whisking them away to Neverland so they can be kids together forever. In some darker interpretations, he just straight up abducts the kids. And even in the Disney version, from the first time we see his face, it's clear that this is not a 100% trustworthy
Indeed.
guy. The whole point of Peter Pan's character, though, is that he's fun, but he's also immature. He's emotionally stunted. He's kind of a jerk. If you aren't also a perpetual child, you eventually get tired of him, especially if you're a girl. The Lost Boys are called the Lost Boys because there weren't any lost girls originally. Peter's explanation is that girls are just far too clever to become lost like the rest of them. And when he brings Windy Darling to Neverland, it throws things into complete disarray because her relative maturity makes the other Lost Boys want to grow up. The point is, what Peter Pan explored was the very rigid classifications of gender in a child's upbringing during the era. The idea that on the whole, girls emotionally mature faster than boys. Something that has a fair amount of scientific truth to it. Literally, most girls optimize connections in their brains at an earlier age than boys, leading them to cognitively mature more quickly. The consensus for a long time has been that boys are born wild and unruly, while girls just grow up faster. And it's therefore their job to civilize the boys, to get them to want to settle down and act like actual human beings. And that mentality is all over old Disney films. The Seven Dwarfs live like a bunch of frat boys until Snow White shows up to show them how to use a broom and a dustpan. Beauty and the Beast is all about a badger who literally doesn't know how to act human until a woman shows up and tells him. And yeah, that's basically what happens in Peter Pan too. The Lost Boys are presented with the options of staying in Neverland.
I just remember watching good movies with interesting stories, but I did not notice these themes.
Find a Windy Darling of your own. In these older stories, the girl was the reward for the men who grew up. That sort of thinking.
Oh shoot.
Boys and the girl's the trophy that you earn for settling down.
The girl is the trophy. Oh, good lord.
Media from years gone by. And more importantly, the justified pushback against that sort of thinking is what's led to a lot of the great girl-targeted media over the past decade. Movies and series written specifically to show that girls aren't just there to be prizes for the boys, or there for the sole purpose of getting their male counterparts to mature. They're their own fully realized people.
Which is fair.
Beliefs, virtues, flaws, strengths and weaknesses, thoughts and feelings. But now I have to ask, why hasn't something similar happened with boys in the media? Why are so many of these male characters just stuck in the older ways of thinking and writing male characters?
I'm ready to learn, Matt.
God to grow up. They're still stuck as Peter Pans, emotionally stunted and immature. Why?
Oh,
well, there's something
that's
that
an
all
image.
these years of hosting of the channels have taught me is that the real reason so many decisions are made in Hollywood comes down to one thing and one thing only: the money. In children's media, there's no bigger money-making
have money.
See, in Hollywood, there's a concept known as toyetic media. This is any movie, cartoon, TV show, comic book, or
Really? It all comes down to the merchandise? I remember that Young Justice was canceled because it didn't sell too many toys.
Robin, toy manufacturers sat in on creative meetings, and many parts of the movie were changed to be easier to make toys out of. And despite the film itself being a financial disappointment, the merchandise made enough money that Warner Brothers continued the Batman franchise with a reboot. However, the first huge property that really took advantage of this idea of toyetic media was Star Wars. Practically everything within the Star Wars franchise was designed in a way
I
to
remember
make
that.
the
Star
very
Wars
first
figurines were the hugest thing ever back when they were first out. In fact, does everyone...
of a higher upfront paycheck. This is how Lucas made his billions. Not through the movies, through the toys.
Through the toys. I remember that. Remember the Simpsons episode in which Ralph won a science fair just by bringing his Star Wars toys? I just thought it was because Star Wars was cool, but they were really making a statement there.
Great films that happen to act as commercials for the action figures and plastic lightsabers. And other companies definitely took note of this. This led to a slew of toyetic IP being created for the sole purpose of selling merchandise. And a lot of
Pokemon was toyetic?
franchises from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I guess so. It still is.
G.I. Joe, Thundercats, He-Man, She-Ra, Pokemon, Digimon, even certified classics like Cowboy Bebop. All of them are made specifically to sell
Cowboy Bebop was made to sell toys?
and not because they were
Ayo.
to tell our kids. But then why are we still selling crummy characters to little boys and not to girls? Well, if you look at the way boys and girls relate to their toys, you start to see one of the big reasons why boy characters are held to such low standards. Let me show you an example from one of the world's biggest toy brands, Lego. In 2011, the Lego company completed an exhaustive study into children's play psychology that spanned multiple years and continents. They wanted to look at child development and feedback from parents to figure out the difference between boy toys and girl toys, if there was any difference at all. What did boys and girls like to play with and why? And the results were fascinating. Obviously, this comes with big asterisks that every child's going to be different, but broadly speaking,
oh boy,
the boys tended to play with their toys and figurines in the third person, deciding what actions the characters they were playing with would take more as a director of sorts. They were telling the knights or astronauts or superheroes what to do during play rather than being the characters themselves or putting themselves into the character's shoes.
Fascinating.
For Lego, that meant that the boys tended to gravitate towards the IP-based playsets, Star Wars, Spider-Man, situations that were really exciting to direct the action for, but where you didn't really have to pretend to be those characters to make it exciting. On the other hand, girls tended to play in the first person, role-playing that they themselves were the characters doing these actions. They projected their own identities onto the toys, rather than directing them to do things. The result of all this, Lego, who had always prided itself on the
I've had Leonardo fight the Red Ranger many times.
Developed the Lego Friends line, focused more on pastel colors, sets that seem more like doll houses than Death Stars, and redesigned minifigurines to look more human. Lego Friends is now considered to be one of the most successful product launches in Lego's
I have
history.
never heard of this.
Lego's expectations,
Maybe because I'm a boy.
Sales with girls in the US and European markets, and rocketing Lego to become the biggest toy maker on the planet. Clearly, it met a need in the market, and the data from their study lines up with tons of other deep dive research about toys and playstyles for children. The big TLDR here is that boys and girls relate to characters differently. So when you're creating a TV show trying to sell them a bunch of toys, those shows are going to look different depending on who you're targeting. For girls, you have to create characters that the girls want to be. So when you sell them toys, they want to embody those characters. For boys, the job's actually kind of different. All you gotta do is create exciting worlds and characters for them.
Exactly.
As long as they feel like cool, exciting characters, job done. They don't necessarily have to be someone
girls are into characters, boys are into worlds and settings.
They're just loud and
interesting.
They bring all this up, Lego and toyetic media, because I can't help but draw a connection between.
That really makes a lot of sense when you think of. I'm thinking of like shonen medium and like slice of life anime. How one of them is focused on creating as many characters as possible to fill out this world, and the other one is about creating the most complex characters that you want to see their day-to-day lives, and you want to see them grow and develop. So, yeah, when one side of the media is focused entirely on the world, the characters fall by the wayside. And when the other media is focused on characters, they tend to really go all in on those characters and the stories And yeah, they have that advantage of putting that emphasis on there. That is fascinating.
The ways these studies observe children playing with toys and the media that's explicitly being created for them. Because girls typically role-play in the first person during childhood, there's a greater focus on seeing yourself in these characters from that female-targeted media. They're designed from the ground up to be more appropriate role models because girls would directly identify with those protagonists. And on the other hand, boys are just assumed to simply watch male-targeted shows for the cool characters doing awesome things. They're watching the story in the third person and incorporating what they see into the direction that they give their toys later on. In the eyes of the corporations making the media and ultimately making the toys, what's most important here is to make the male characters cool, funny, loud, and exciting, which far too often just translates into violent, stupid, and cruel. And that, I think, is a significant part of why these male characters just don't stack up, especially in relation to their female counterparts. Media, it's powerful. We see it influence action in the real world. And with younger girls now being shown that the world is open to them and that people should be taking them seriously by all these female protagonists, the ball starts rolling to make that a reality. And now, I want us to be able to do the same for these male characters. If we want our boys to grow up knowing that they should be kind, fair, smart and respectful, thoughtful and strong in all the right ways, we need to set them up for success by putting good examples of these traits in front of them in the shows that they're watching. We can still have fun with them. They can still be heroic and funny, but they can do all that without being mean or dumb or violent or destructive. It won't be easy, but we've shown over the last
it won't be easy.
Positive change in the media that's being produced. And you know what? It is time that we finally let our boys grow up. That way my son, our sons, can have characters worth looking up to. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
I didn't want to interrupt him during his final sign-off. I really learned a lot. I mean, a lot of this stuff that he talked about was really obvious and inherent. Hold on a second if I can get some better lighting in here. A lot of it was really obvious and inherent in the... It's like, if we were to just proclaim all of this as it were, then we would just say, yeah, well, duh. But when we put it under the lens of how it's influencing the children, you know, won't somebody think of the children? MatPat actually did think of the children, and a lot of the things that's just like, yeah, that's just the way they are. Well, that's the way they are, and it shouldn't exactly be that way, or it can be a lot better. That's what I should say. It could be a lot better. So, yeah, girls have been getting it great when it comes to role models. Boys, you have to really go through with a fine-tooth comb to figure out that sorts of things. And his definition for a good role model really caught me off guard. I thought Phineas and Ferb were great role models, but that his son just focused on how they were breaking rules and could possibly get into trouble, that blew my mind. And I thought that because Dexter was really smart and science savvy, that made him a good role model. Not necessarily. He really was mean to his sister. I thought that she, quote-unquote, deserved it because she was breaking all this stuff, but that exactly wasn't a story created to show a healthy brother and sister dynamic. It was created to be funny and, you know, visually interesting. And and like I said, I'm writing my own universes, and to see how male characters are portrayed thus far and to this date, I'm gonna have to keep a lot of things in mind, because just following the script might get success, but really being able to say something unique, different, and significant requires a little bit more thought. Alright, folks. I've been putting this off for a long time. I just did not want to believe that it could be over. But just like the episode of Star Trek, all good things. All good things come to an end. So, this is MatPat's Final Theory, which is literally called MatPat's Final Theory. It's got 10 million views. It's 25 minutes long. That's like the shortest video. But, okay. Nope. Come on. Let me pause it. This is everything in here. If the final film theory really got me introspecting, oh Lord, just looking at this screen is already starting to make me feel things. What is going to happen? What is he going to explore? Is it going to be a FNAF theory? Or is it going to be an All Might moment? Is he going to emotionally United States of Smash me, and then he'll point at the camera and he'll say to the internet, "It's your turn now." For all of you currently in the chat, thank you for joining me on this journey of the swan song to a really cornerstone figure in internet history. A real mover and shaker. Someone who I did not want to get closure on, but I'm already here. I've already watched 3 videos. And we're gonna go and we're gonna watch MatPat's Final Game Theory. Let's go. Starting off with the Majora's Mask New Day sound effect. Yep. Going all the way back. Feels like I'm back in 2013. Oh, he's going through all the intros. Don't do this to me, man.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory.
Hello, MatPat. Do you see how moist his eyes already are? You could tell before he went onto the couch. He was already wrought with emotion, and I am already primed as well. The old game theories were some crazy things. The Luigi one, I know the one that you're talking about.
The last time that I'll be saying those words officially on this channel. Loyal theorists, how do you say goodbye? 13 years ago, I made you this promise.
Do you want to know more about the games you love without having
that nasally voice though.
Well, now you can play and learn. That's right, Weboverse. We have created
Weboverse.
Game Theory, gaming's tangential learning experience.
Well, Weboverse. 3,000 videos of tangential learning later.
3,000 videos.
I already got super weepy in the last one of these things, so probably shouldn't do that again. It'd be redundant. Probably not great for the next equipment. We've also
I got super weepy.
Together, knowing that this day was going to come, right? So I really feel like I've gotten my farewell tour. I've buried hatchets. I've rekindled friendships. I made sweeping videos about the state of online entertainment.
Fun fact. When I did my original 1 Minute of Foxy videos, I actually attracted comments from a couple of well-known YouTube creators. Markiplier commented on my Markiplier episode of 1 Minute at Freddy's, but one of the first let me see here. Yeah, the first well-known YouTuber to comment on one of my 5 Nights at Freddy's videos was Gaijin Goomba. He told me that he turned something that scared him into something else, and I really felt like I was coming up in the world at that point. That was in 2014. 10 years later, and I haven't stopped sitting on my rear.
Friendships. I mean, sweeping videos about the state of online entertainment, fired some tanks. That was legitimately very cool. I honored my heritage. I made Disney mad at me one final time.
He's talking about all of his channels.
And just in general, sped ran my way through all the things that were left in my content creator bucket list. So again, I ask, how do you say goodbye? First, it's probably most important.
That's a good
to
question.
It's not officially goodbye, right? It's not like
Yeah.
goodbye or anything. It's more of a
No.
later. I'm still gonna
Get that purple guy away from him.
Like, I'm already booked to do the fashion show on Style Theory later this
Mhm.
year. I'm still gonna be here on the couch for GT Live. In a couple weeks, I'm gonna be giving
Oh.
a speech over at PAX.
He's going to be doing GT Live still. Interesting. I have to imagine that's a lot less of a commitment than doing 4 videos a week. Okay. So that's actually really nice.
Was recently in a kill count. Heck, I'm already slated to do the Jacksepticeye podcast, the Ludwig podcast. There's a collaboration I'm doing with Shea Frillis Productions. There's the FNAF musical over on Random Encounters.
Shea Frillis? I want to know when that's coming out.
It's like, I will be doing a lot, and you will probably be sick of me doing all these things on everyone else's channels. But if you do want to stay in touch with me, there are actually 2 ways that you can do it. Normally I'd say something like, oh, you can follow me on Twitter, but we all know that there's like a grand total of 0 people who want to be over on that platform. So instead, I decided to make you this. A mysterious website named
Where's.MatPat.com?
This is going to be a place that I update every once in a while when I have news about some new project that's coming up, or, you know, a mystery that you're going to have to solve by digging through the source.
I'll have to keep a bookmark of that.
No, I don't feel bad about that because he stole enough of my ideas over the years. Editors who drop on some deal with it.
I was about to say, that kind of gives me a ScottGames.com feel, and that's exactly it. Good minds run through the same irrigation ditch.
Yeah, that's a good one. Make sure you sign up via email. Don't worry, I'm not going to be spamming you with updates or anything. It'll be more like a...
I wouldn't mind if you spammed me.
Or maybe a Christmas card that you get every once in a while with a funny update, or maybe we could chat about a favorite movie or something. I'll send over the occasional video that I'm just inspired to make. Who knows? Basically, this is just meant to be a way to let you all know what I'm up to directly in a way that isn't going to be subject to filtering algorithms. You know? And to kick things off,
yeah, that's good.
100 random emails that sign up to get personalized letters. And from that point forward, once or twice a week, I'll continue pulling a handful of emails to send personal notes to. It'll be a fun way to stay in touch. Long story short, make sure you bookmark it since you never know what will happen over there. But
he's going to spend as much time responding to emails
back to the question at hand. How do you...
as he did creating these episodes. Remember Bruce Almighty when Bruce had got all the prayers to God in email form, and it was going to take him an eternity, and they ended up saying yes to all of them, and it threw the world into absolute chaos. I feel like that's going to be the same thing with this, but maybe it won't.
Well, I think you honestly have to end it all where it began. This title, A Game Theory, about game theory. Did you know that game theory isn't just a nerdy YouTube show? It's also a nerdy economics concept. If that's news to you, I honestly can't blame you. At this point, we've created enough confusion.
Yeah, I've known about that.
Merited our own disambiguation.
I looked up game theory when the show first came out, and I went into a little bit of a rabbit hole.
So many tweets from people who are mid-year in their economics courses, screenshotting their textbooks, freaking out when they got to the episode on game. It's not an episode. It's a chapter. They got to the chapter on game theory, being like, "Oh my gosh, dude! Did you know that you were in this thing?" And yeah, we definitely did. The pun, believe it or not, was intentional. In fact, Steph and I knew from the very beginning that it was likely that the final episode of Game Theory was going to be about game theory. Why? Well, because game theory?
Because game theory.
You can't escape it. If you've ever seen the movie Love Actually, there's actually this opening monologue in it that goes a little something like this.
We live in a world of hatred and greed, but I don't see that. It seems to me that love is everywhere. If you look for it, you'll find that love actually is all around.
Now you just got to replace the word love with game theory.
Game theory is everywhere.
We live in a world of hatred and greed, but I don't see that. It seems to me that
game theory
is everywhere. If you look for it, you'll find that
game theory
actually is all around.
Huh. Who would have suspected that English acting megastar and recent Oompa Loompa Hugh Grant would be making a guest appearance in my final episode?
Oh, good lord, don't remind me.
Truly, we have spared no expense for this one. And not only is game theory just everywhere, it also holds the secret to winning everything forever. Yeah, I know, right? That was a huge claim to make. Clearly, I was saving all my biggest secrets for the grand finale. So, you know what? Let's not beat around the bush anymore, my friend. Let's make you masters of the universe and reveal how, whether you like it or not, you all are theorists for life. Come on.
Let's go. I want to be a theorist for life.
Yeah, we're moving off the couch this time. That's how you know it's a big deal. Let's go. At its core, game theory is the science of strategy. So, we gamers, we understand strategy, but what
yeah, brother.
is game theory specifically? Well, to understand that, you have to go back to the original game theorist, not me, this guy. This guy right here. He might not have himself the red leather jackets or the cool diamond play buttons, but I'll tell you what he does have. A crater on the moon named after himself, so I'll let you decide who has the bigger flex there. This guy right here, he
that
is
is gangsta.
mathematician John von Neumann, and he was everywhere back in the day. And I do mean everywhere. Like, this guy was a key player in the invention of the digital computer. He helped with the discovery of the structure of DNA, even the creation of key components for
Godfather of game theory.
Project. You know, the Christopher Nolan movie where big things go big booms. But perhaps his biggest claim to fame was game theory. The idea that in any situation where there are two or more people, or players in this case, you can model out a game that'll help you find the best outcome. Have you ever played rock, paper, scissors and thrown out rock as the first hand? Because you know, statistically, most people choose their first move to be scissors. Or maybe you picked paper because the last three moves have been rock and they're obviously going to be thrown rock again. Well, congratulations, that is game theory in action.
I see.
You got a medal of freedom for that. So it just goes to show, don't let your dreams just be dreams, kids. Sometimes getting an honorary medal is a lot
Shia LaBeouf.
easier than you
That's a
think.
deep cut.
Game theory is the study of strategic choice. It's math that tells you what people are going to do and who's going to win the game. Probably the most famous example of a game theory scenario.
When you said win the game, I lost the game. And you, my good people, have also lost the game. I'm sorry. Better luck next time.
It was the prisoner's dilemma, where two accomplices have just committed a crime, and they're both given the chance to narc on the other one. If they both deny the crime, well, they both get a short prison sentence. If one of them denies the crime and the other rats him out, the narc walks free while his buddy is stuck in prison for a long time. And if they both confess, they both get a medium sentence. We can model the possible outcomes here in a nice, neat, mathy looking square. And while technically the best outcome for both of them would be to trust each other and not confess, they're criminals, and they don't know each other that well. And because they don't trust each other by the math,
I remember this one. I remember this Prisoner's Dilemma.
As a result, getting medium amount of prison time. Or if that all's too complicated and hypothetical, over in England, they turn the whole thing into a game show where they say the word balls an unbelievable amount of times.
Welcome to Golden Balls. Golden Balls. Balls of riches, 12 balls. My balls are all golden. 100.
That reminds me of my Mario Golf stream, where I kept on talking about balls and holes.
Now, why am I bringing all this up? Well, game theory is more than just wads of cash jammed into a bunch of balls. Someone should tell Mr. Beast that I just discovered his next video idea. No, it has very real consequences for the world. Back when the US and USSR were on the brink of atomic annihilation, the principles of game theory helped both sides reach an agreement to slowly disarm their nuclear arsenals. If you want to know more about that story, Veritasium's recent video on game theory does a great job telling it. And honestly, I can't really improve on it.
Crediting other creators. Magnanimous of them.
If you want an example that's a bit closer to home, though, here you go. YouTube. Got it. See, YouTube as a platform is just a bunch of zeros and ones, right? But YouTube as a community, it's a network of people constantly trying to make strategic decisions. Creators are players who are more or less rational people making videos that'll get you to watch and like and comment and subscribe. You, the viewer, you're also a player in this. You're on a strategic mission to win the experience by finding the thing that's most satisfying to watch. And the people who run, or at least have run YouTube in the past, shout out to Todd, Jake, Neil, Ernest, Meg, Ariel, Susan, David, Fede, Vader, Stephanie, and Kim, they're all in a strategic game to keep the creators and viewers happy, while also figuring out the best possible outcome for YouTube as a company by appeasing all the advertisers and shareholders. It is seriously a complex strategic arena. And that's how you get decisions like use
That's a strategy.
because it's more likely to stand out in a sea of dark gaming thumbnails and more likely to get clicks. Launch shorts as a means to counterattack.
Bright green, you're
Do
saying?
a video on something that's not trending so you can stand out from the pack. Or maybe you lean in so you're suggested against the algorithm. Every video you watch, everything that you click on, it's the product of creators using game theory. Slap a big old game.
I spend a long time figuring out all of the all the keywords and generating thumbnails and titles, even so much as creating the user interface for these streams. I spend a little bit of time figuring out what's going to make things pop, what's going to get people talking. The thumbnail for the previous Mega Man X6 stream, that was the screenshot of Zero saying that he was going to censor himself. Yeah, that was something I thought was going to get me extra clicks. I was game theorying.
Theory colon in front of every title and slam some clickbait green text on every thumbnail. All those hundreds of millions of subscribers to Jimmy and Ryan Trahan and Cocomelon, I like to think that they're all secretly ours. Where's our 200 million subscriber play button?
Oh, because they're using game theory.
Speaking of, and this is just an aside that I learned about earlier this week, apparently there's a Chrome extension that allows you to do exactly what I just described. It, quote-unquote, MatPatifies your YouTube feed by putting green text on like every thumbnail. Just saying, we have reached the peak of human achievements. I, for one, really like this one, where it's Link and...
Mommy is hungry.
Or the one that I saw circulating online, Ryan Gosling doing a puppy interview in the title
Oh my goodness.
Birth of a Killer. There was another one that showed up on the subreddit, Afton's Final Death Smash.
Smash!
I gotta say, I am proud...
Smash with a hammer.
The mark that I will leave on this platform. But so what, right?
Okay, I gotta look into that.
It's interesting.
That extension.
Matter to you, right? Why am I spending so much time talking about all of this in my final episode? Well, it's like I said, game theory can help in every strategic interaction that you have. And it's produced a literal strategy guide on the best way to live out your life. Tried and tested by all our grandfather theorists. But to truly understand that, we have to go back to where it all began, a glorified PowerPoint presentation. Weboverse, allow me to introduce you
Glorified
to
glorified
Trust
PowerPoint.
Game. I love this. We started as glorified PowerPoint slides, and we're ending as glorified PowerPoint slides. Here's the TLD
Hey,
of this one.
you've earned it.
It was originally just named the Computer Tournament by a guy named Robert Axelrod. Clearly not the most creative with his titling conventions. Basically, this was the prisoner's dilemma or the golden balls thing, except here, there was one crucial difference. They're not just playing the game once, they are literally playing it hundreds of times, repeating it over and over again to see what strategies end up winning the most across a longer period. This then gives us a model that's shockingly closer to real life, because here, most of the time, you're not just thinking about what you have to do to win a single game, you have to actually think about the consequences of your actions.
Mhm.
The more people think about the future, the more they're willing to cooperate because they don't want to screw themselves over down the road, you know? Again, for details on that experiment, check out Derek Veritasium's video where he talks about all of that, including having an interview with the game's creator. It's a very cool video.
Oh, wow.
Also, borrowed his convention.
I thought that was a long time ago, but
and the idea.
creators,
You can also watch
they're
Dr.
alive.
Trevor Bassett's video on the topic, or the various TED Talks that are all about this experiment. We'll link to all of those down in the description below. But just to jump to the big conclusion here, the best strategy to winning it big boils down to 4 key points. Number 1,
Take notes.
cooperative. Lead with trust.
Be cooperative, lead
Assuming that
with
the person
trust.
you're playing with is your enemy right off the bat, it's not going to serve you well. Trust in
Mhm.
others, it's going to let you win more frequently in the end. Secondly, don't be a pushover. Sure, it's good to be trusting, that is great, but the second that someone takes advantage of your trust,
I'm gonna have to work on number 2.
call them out on it and then immediately hold them accountable. Which leads nicely then to point number 3, being forgiving. Don't hold a grudge. Don't be a Mr. Darcy.
My good opinion once lost is lost forever.
That is a failing indeed.
You tell him, girl, you are exactly right. She's speaking some game theory truth right there. Well, sure, it hurts to have your trust broken. Staying open to the chance that other people can change, that they can grow and learn and get better, that is...
I don't really think I've put myself in very many situations where I would have to forgive someone, which goes to show how risk-averse I am, and quite possibly how little I may have lived. That's not me being deprecatory or emo or anything. That might just be the state of what it's like. I wonder if there's any truth to that. The less you find yourself in a situation to forgive someone, the less you have lived. That might be more of a correlation thing rather than a causation thing. Something to think about.
showed that players who held their opponent accountable, but then forgave them, actually won out more often than any other strategy. And lastly, it's important to be honest and open about your strategy. When people can't understand what you're thinking, that's then when mistrust starts to breed. By being honest, it breeds honesty in others. It allows you to build on that trust over time.
Yeah, I remember when I've been in certain positions where the people above me told me that I can't be honest with the people below me, or I have to withhold information, and it backfired on me every single time. And the fact that people can be in a position of power where they don't need to be honest, they don't need to be forgiving, they don't need to be a pushover, they don't need to have trust. I mean, to be honest, they just heap that onto other people, and they let them deal with the consequences, meanwhile hiding behind a smokescreen. I mean, that's just something with the world. I don't know. I'm just spitballing things here. Maybe I'll think about it a little bit more down the line.
One step, bit by bit. Across the thousands of rounds of testing, nice strategies that were fair but also firm ultimately won out the most. Now, when I read these out...
Yeah, unless you have enough money or power and influence to just brute force your way into success.
I don't think a lot of us carry around a lot. I mean, it's easy to assume...
Hold on a second, what are you saying?
What struck me first was how they present a really hopeful view of the world. A hopeful view that I don't think a lot of us carry around a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's easy to assume that everyone out there is out to get you. And it's easier to just close off...
The last 4 years have definitely done a lot to contribute to that.
To people who've wronged us in the past, but math, and game theory specifically, proves that assumption's wrong. And hey, if you don't want to believe the thousands of rounds of computer simulations, there is a very solid real-life example, YouTube. YouTube is a
all comes down to YouTube.
Which means that more than one person can win. And in fact, a lot of times, the more others
Hi there, Esteban.
you can win too. When I was just starting off, I was so mad and scared when Vsauce 3 released this video, calculating Sonic's speed. I'd been working for a year on the channel at that point.
Oh, wow, really?
Seeing a fair amount of growth, but in that moment I saw a spin-off of one of YouTube's top subscribed channels just warning in on my territory of gaming science. It was like they were going to steamroll me. They were going to steal my audience away. So I did a video where I tried to stake my claim, and thus, Sonic is Slow was born.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, applying science to video games since April 18th of 2011. Recently, however, a new gaming scientist has come onto the scene. The good folks over at Vsauce 3 recently took a gander at a game series I covered in episode 5. It's a great video, except for one thing. It's wrong.
Oh, goodness.
Listen to my voice.
Shots fired.
Oh, I'm so proud that I finally hit puberty, like 7 years into making these videos. Anyway, you can tell that I'm super salty in this one, right? I'm asserting that I did.
I remember this.
Citing the dates. I am literally trying to one-up Vsauce 3. But then something interesting happened. I got views from Vsauce. I saw that their video and mine were actually helping each other. I was so afraid of me losing a year of hard-earned progress that in reality I wasn't just operating on my own island anymore. By unintentionally cooperating with each other, we had just created our own little micro-trend of gaming science content. There were clearly
interesting
for all of us. Steph and I, in our years of consulting...
That sounds like he lucked into it more than he intentionally cultivated that.
A long way. From inviting someone to collab on your channel to comparing notes on production because it can help you both. You actually see this kind of cooperative game theory in action with content houses, or projects like the QSMP where creators are helping each other and sharing audiences. On the flip side, there are creators who haven't done a good job of leading with trust and who've approached YouTube as a zero-sum game, a place where there can only be one winner. And guess what? It didn't work. Back in 2020, a few of the top beauty creators tried to take each other down, encouraging viewers not to watch each other, trying to turn audiences against people who they thought were their competitors. It was for the
That's vicious.
For the views, and it backfired.
I'm not into the fashion scene, so I had no idea about this one.
YouTube's earliest days never truly recovered. By working together, the platform thrived.
Stonks.
But by thinking that you can only win when other people lose, well, that's when everyone loses. It's kind of sad. Let's move on. But if you don't want to listen to mathematicians or YouTube meta-analyses, just look at me. Game Theory, the show, is a testament to the
Oh, that was a
of
nice
game
transition
theory
into the green
and
screen.
economics concept. Every person who's built this channel has led with trust. Ronnie, he put his own show on the back burner so he could dedicate his time to editing Game Theory, trusting that we would be able to succeed more together. He helped the show to truly
Handsomely
become
named
what I
editor.
always dreamed it would be, and I honestly wish that he could be here to this day so I could thank him so much for that. The same is true for Goomba and Drake and Lee and Ryder and all the other partner shows who joined up with us in lieu of working on their own channels. Steph, she left being a consultant at a real company in the medical field on the belief that by cooperating, we could actually make something really special together. Jason, who is actually right here behind the camera right now. Jason,
He's using this to credit. He's using this episode to credit his crew, and this is ultra classy.
Employee after me and Steph. He jumped in there when all we had was a kitchen table and a cat that he was constantly allergic to. And Sudafed, you have this man to thank for your current because
Zyrtec.
And Zyrtec.
And Zyrtec.
So many pills over the years.
Yeah.
But
all medically prescribed, though, I promise.
Yeah, no, good medical pills, not anything sketchy, for sure. But Jason is the man that we have trusted with the weight of the entire production process across all the channels for years. Like, this man is the unsung hero of everything you've probably ever watched across any of the channels. Without
He's
him,
choking up.
Without you. Without you.
I don't think he was expecting this. That is human.
Okay.
That is.
Thank other people. You know, friendship first, but also working.
No man is an island.
Awesome stuff, right?
And I think I've been thinking of myself as an island.
There is one man who also deserves a call out, and his name is Yossi. He is
Yossi.
our audio wizard. He is the man who I have trusted with my voice for the better part of 9 years. He has had to suffer through more hours of my voice than anyone else in the world. I am so sorry. Yossi. I am so sorry for all the burps and weird edits and weird diatribes and jump scares that I'll hear.
Now I want to hear a
Was
burp.
Yossi a pro when he first joined up with us? No. But you know what he was willing to do? He was willing to learn. And I've trusted him with my voice for the better part of 9 years. And the same goes for another member of the team who you've never gotten to see but was actually there before the channel was even monetized, which is kind of crazy to think about. You don't know.
That's a
Dan,
long time ago.
But Dan was another one. He was the first who actually saw potential in me and in these channels as a whole, offering to become my manager even though he had never managed a YouTuber before. He just jumped in with 2 feet and said, hey, I've never gotten a brand deal in the past, but think I could do it for you. And he did. And then he got me literally hundreds more. He has his own management company now, and he manages some of the biggest sports creators
Good on
on
him.
YouTube. I can say with complete confidence that this company and my career
Very well
would have
deserved.
looked totally different had it not been for Dan. And his career and his company would have looked totally different without me. He and I have built businesses parallel to each other, right next to each other.
Looks like a fun
using
guy.
Cooperative game theory for over a decade. He trusts me to make
Cooperative
good
game
decisions
theory.
on YouTube, and I trust him to make good decisions as my manager. And we both benefit in the long run. But perhaps the most important
Nice loss.
in all of these trusting relationships is you. You guys, right here. I wear you on my wrist.
You guys.
You loyal theorists have been the best example of game theory in the history of the show Game Theory. Every time you click on one of these videos, you are leading with trust. You are saying, you know what, I'm going to give this one a chance, especially on those episodes that are covering topics that you've never even heard of. And on my end, I've always tried my best to fulfill on that promise and make sure that your trust pays off by delivering a great, well-researched, fun, a lot of times stupid video. And
the clap and a
there have been
half.
plenty of times where I've missed the mark, where you weren't happy about a topic, or where I said something wrong, or my research was bad, or whatever, and I needed to learn about that. And so you, acting exactly as you should, according to that trust game, you called me out in those moments. You showed me that I had made
3 words. Sans his ness.
You were willing to forgive. You gave me a chance to learn and grow as a creator and as a person. And look at this. We all won. Look at this thing that we managed to build together. Don't tell anyone else. I mean, there's 3 of them here in the room, but like, upstairs. You guys, you've always been the most important member of this team, whether or not you ever realized it. And now, as new hosts step in, yeah, they're obviously going to have to learn a lot, and they're going to have to earn your trust just like I did over a prolonged period of time. But I hope that you
They're doing good so far.
cooperation and goodwill that you did for me all those years ago. So, while I might be leaving as host of this show, Game Theory, it'll never leave. It'll never leave me, and it'll never leave you. We are all game theory, which honestly is why I thought it was fitting for you guys to be the one to say this.
But hey!
That's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
It's just a theory.
Just a theory.
That's just a theory.
A game theory.
Class dismissed. Thanks for the theories, MatPat.
But hey, that's just
Everyone submitting their stuff for,
just the
I guess they had submissions for this.
But hey, that's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
Just a theory.
Just a theory.
Theory.
That's just a theory. That's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
A style theory.
A food theory. A film theory. A game theory.
Oh, I'm not hanging up the coat.
Thanks for watching.
Damn. Way to go out with style.
Oh man, where to?
I got something I gotta do.
Okay.
Wait for
Style and food and film and game. What's he doing now? He's going on the field. He's going on a road trip. Where's he going? Not as longer as there to the video. Just a minute. What's it leading up to?
You ready?
I've been expecting you. Come, we have much to discuss.
Is that Scott Cawthon? Whoa. Was that Scott Cawthon? The voice of Phone Guy? Okay. At the very... He ends the whole thing by visiting Scott, the guy who kicked off, basically put him on the map with Five Nights at Freddy's. Gave me my 15 minutes of fame as well. So there, for answers on where to find all the endings, check the bottom of the description. If you want to find them yourself, happy hunting. Well, I'm not here to play games. I just want to see all the endings. Ending 1 out of 6. Oh my god, Matt actually got Scott to make an appearance. I was anticipating a little bit more. I would have anticipated a little bit more, but the fact that he actually appeared live on camera, is that the first time that Scott has appeared on anything official? Holy moly. That is some respect. That is some intense respect right there. Goodness me. Okay. Let's just see the end of this one. And then I'll go ahead and look at the bottom of the description and see what exactly it is that he's talking about. So give me a second to find more endings here. Alright, so number 2. Alright, so it looks like we've got a couple. Okay, so 3, 4, 5. I don't quite know what, yeah. I don't quite know what we were supposed to do to find these endings, but let's just go ahead and roll through them. So this is so that was ending number 1, the Lore Keeper ending, and this one is called the Chaos ending. Let's see what happens in the Chaos ending.
Thanks for watching.
Nah, gotta turn on the.
What now?
Vacation.
Vacation.
Vacation!
Vacation!
How do you think they're doing back at the office?
What's the matter? Can't reach? How did this happen?
Everything falls apart without him. Yeah, pretty much. Not the play button.
It's time to overtake the editors.
Wordle. I remember my Wordle phase. I played for like over a year.
Yeah. You know, my body still has those weird tan markings from the sunscreen episode.
I've noticed. Yeah.
Robot with a knife. The robot takeover has begun. This is such an early YouTube thing that I'm looking at right now. Yeah. Alrighty. That's that was ending number 2, the Chaos ending. This next one is the meme ending. You know me, I love my memes.
Thanks for watching.
What now? Nope, I'm out.
Music Man?
Music Man.
Music Man? Let's go! Music Man!
Oh, Nyan Cat. Deep cuts all around. Ah, there stands his nest. Come on, where more of those memes. Ah, Pikachu. Ah.
You realize that lunch is the most important meal of the day.
Nugget. Exotic butters. All the greatest memes from across game theory history.
MatPat can suck an egg.
MatPat can suck an egg.
Behold his jaws of justice! Thick layer of cream in there. I want that thickness inside my
Hey! There's a reference to the Luigi episode. Spider Dragon. Years upon years of silliness.
When you get to the bottom of it, it's so moist.
Diamond armor.
I want betwixt.
Amogus!
Furry.
Monica, still need to finish off that game.
I realize what I've done.
Diet Coke.
The lore.
The lore!
I just simultaneously whipped and dated.
celebrating all the facets of the Theorist channel over the years. This next ending is the Insanity ending, which is... I just realized that all of these endings are based off of the endings in Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. So, the Insanity ending, directly taken from that. What is the Insanity ending?
Thanks for watching.
What now?
You know, I actually have to do something real quick. Wait right there.
Are you okay? Hello? Matthew? Are you up there?
What are the depths of the insanity that we're about to see?
Oh, what is this? Oh, come on.
Looks like a lore room from a mascot horror game.
Oh, this is crazy.
Stephanie, I figured it out. I figured out what's inside the box. I figured it out. Listen to me. Listen to me. I figured it out. Okay. Gregory wasn't a robot, and Vanessa wasn't a robot. Okay. It was me. No. It was me the whole time. You're a robot too, Stephanie. You're the robot. You have gears beeping and bumping in your head. Keep beeping and bumping. Stephanie, you're a robot. We're all robots. All you have to do is count the toes, Stephanie.
Count the toes. That's a deep cut.
5 toes. 5 fingers. Wouldn't you like to be a robot too?
I thought you said we're all robots. That's a sad one. Let's just move straight on to the horror ending. All right, let's see some spoop. Let's see some scary chops.
Thanks for watching. What now? I don't know. Have you done today's Wordle?
Ooh, analog horror. That's good. I like this. Oh, shoot. It's just past 9 right now. How did you know? Analog horror. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay.
This is not a test. The emergency alert system has issued a code gray for your local area. There is a dangerous person or predator nearby. Evacuate the area immediately. Again, this is not a test.
Last night, a shocking discovery was made. The bodies of internet personalities Matthew and Stephanie Patrick were found in their home.
Oh.
Mutilated net
Hold on a second.
Matthew and Stephanie Patrick were found.
Oh, look at that. Look at this. This is some good analog horror. Is that the Germa face? No, it's not. You can't be seeing a Mocha's face everywhere.
In their home, mutilated by what officers described as... This follows the similar mysterious death.
Good lord. Oh my goodness. Is that purple guy? The fact that it's the generic man from all the game theory episodes kind of takes me out of it. I think that was the point. They didn't want us to leave us with the with too much cold adrenaline. SH. Yeah, that's the sound that that static makes. Shh. All right, didn't mean to do that. Let's tamp this out. Now we're gonna see the last. Oh, the last ending is called the real ending. So the lore keeper ending, where he meets with Scott, not the real ending, but let's see what the real ending is. Good way to finish things off.
Thanks for watching.
That was the best one.
Great. Awesome.
The
Cut sound, cut camera.
All right, cutting.
It was the first one. After the,
After the first one, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah. It just
I know.
Amy's like, oh my gosh, finally, this channel's been mine.
He's not.
No more edible underwear episodes. I'm my perfect program.
I'm guessing that this. I'm guessing that this is them messing around before and after that final shoot.
Is that a food theory or a salad theory?
What's a style theory?
Oh, okay.
We make the clothes and then we eat the clothes.
It's already on
Well, we have to bake it like you bake it. Yeah, it's you.
This looks like they're being genuine and just shooting the breeze.
On food theory, you analyze whether or not like there's a lot of bacteria.
Can you make something that would work, that would be edible and safe to wear?
And on film theory,
It's just porn.
I didn't hear that. Oh.
Oh, spot on.
Hey, Stephanie, my name is Tom. How I missed it, Tom? I've grown on Dawn.
can you do the butt hang? That's just a theory.
Boy, it's just a theory. Okay, theory.
Basically, just drop all consonants.
I love how he's swallowing all of them.
You gotta say it's like a game theory in it, right?
Game theory, it's one of them game theories, isn't it, Rob?
Hey,
One of them game theories.
Usually it goes on Saturdays. But sometimes it's late, so it's Tuesday.
Yep.
Congratulations, you did it. You found the real canon ending. The final, most secret ending by painstakingly combing over the last 5 weeks of videos, poring tirelessly over literal hours of content, searching for those brief Easter eggs, cobbling them together into mysterious URLs. Either that or, you just click the link in the description of the final video. Both
That-
totally valid solutions. Regardless of how you got here, a winner's you. Congratulations, you've graduated. And when I call this the real ending, that's exactly what this is. It's real. Because let me tell you, the skills that you've gotten over the years here on the channel, critically thinking about spooky bears, fast food, analog horror, and soapy legs, that sense of curiosity and fun, that's not gonna go away. That carries with you into where it matters most, out here, in the real world. And all that, it spreads. It grows. Enthusiasm and positivity and curiosity, critical thought, they're infectious in the best ways possible. For all the jokes that constantly get made about me losing my mind and going insane, that right there, that is what being a theorist truly means. Sharing a love of learning with others. It has been an honor to be your YouTuber, your entertainer, your teacher, your parasocial friend, whatever role I've played in your life. Thank you. And you know what? I look forward to continuing that through the little website and newsletter that I have going on, as well as all the projects that I'm working on for you right now. But even more than any of that, you know what I'm most excited about? I'm excited about it being your turn. You can be the game theorist, questioning the lore alongside your friends. You're the food theorist, doing bizarre flavor experiments in your kitchen. Go wild with some new style, or try a film that deviates from the mainstream. You're the theorists now, and I cannot wait to see what you discover. Because rest assured, I will be watching. Remember, this isn't an ending. Well, technically it is an ending because it's the real ending, but you get what I'm saying. This isn't an ending. Instead, this is a brand new and exciting beginning. And that's not a theory. That right there, that's a fact. With love always.
He really did it. He gave us the "it's your turn now" moment. That's what I was anticipating, and we got it. Now, I think that there were a couple of other videos that I wanted to show that were tangentially related to MatPat's retirement. But, you know what? I think we're just gonna hold on this. This seems like the perfect ending. So, yeah. I remember when the game theory was really starting to pick up, and my first experience with game theory, the very first episode that I saw of it was the Mario is Mental video, where MatPat talked about how Mario was secretly neurotic and controlling and, you know, just not a wholesome person. And I took really big offense to that. And I created my own rebuttal video, which absolutely nobody watched. It's called Mario's Mental, and That's Okay. And if you're actually watching this video and you want to check that out, go ahead, plunge through the depths of my channel to see if you can find that. It's one of my short-lived vlog series that I try to make regularly and try talking about. But as usual with projects that I start, didn't really last all that long. And so for a little bit of time, I disliked game theory because of that episode. But then I started watching more of them, and I realized what game theory was all about, and I grew to enjoy the show, MatPat's, and just be along the ride and become a theorist in my own right. And ever since then, I've just been stumbling around through life trying to find that one vocation that's going to be the thing that becomes my big mark on the world. I wanted to create videos, I wanted to do writing, I wanted to do reviews, all this other stuff. Nothing really stuck, and I don't know why. Gone to therapy to figure out why nothing really sticks, but guess I never really found the passion. Or never like I said earlier in the video, I never really threw my weight behind it. But here's MatPat out here, doing his thing, creating this entertainment empire. And you'll see that he not only has the game theory logo there, but the entire theorist network there. And now he says that it's our turn. Not gonna lie, I think I'm older than MatPat. He says he's nearing 40. I'm nearing 40. And while he was out here living his best life, making his dream happen, you know, I've been living my own life. But, I don't know. Somewhere along the way, I just kind of dropped off from being a content creator. And now I'm just doing streams because it's easy to do. I just get up here and, you know, for 4 hours, 3 times a week, that's easy to do. But I can never really sit still long enough to produce something tangible. And, not gonna lie, I feel like I missed the boat. He spent his baker's dozen creating this channel, exploring all facets of entertainment and beyond, and I haven't. I've just been persisting, which, you know, not to say anything about people who live their lives to get jobs and start families. Yeah, but for what I wanted to do with my life, I wanted to be similar to what MatPat was doing. Creating content, putting stuff out there, really making a difference in people's leisure time. So I have to wonder if it really can be my turn. if you comb through my channel, you'll see that I made several attempts to start being a video essayist. The Dead Space video I made, the Mega Man X, Maverick Hunter X video I did, and a couple of other endeavors. I never really stuck. Couldn't tell you why. But I don't know. Just Matt right now saying that it's my turn. Of course he's saying that it's a collective you, as in everyone out there. And, I've had a real crisis of faith with my ability to do things that I want. I've just had this real addiction with wasting time over the past decade or so of my life, being this passive consumer rather than creating things of my own. And I can write, I can produce a video, I can make things that people enjoy with success. I just don't follow through with it. And I've just said to myself, it's over so many times. But, And I felt like I was going to dissolve into dust when MatPat originally announced his retirement. I thought, well, that's it. If the people of my generation are starting to quit, then that's it. Like I said before, I missed the boat. I just sat on my hands and napped through what should have been the best years of my life. And that has been a real downer for me. Doesn't help that I got really addicted to keeping up with social media too much and seeing what's going on with the ugliness of the world while ignoring everything that was beautiful out there. Which is kind of part of that film theory of people focusing on way too little of the world. And who knows, maybe it's because I'm a stinky boy that I focus too much on the negative of the world, because that's the sort of stuff that you create action-packed cartoons out of. But once the action is done and you're left back in the real world, yeah, don't trust your heroes. And yet, when MatPat's says it's my turn, I can't help but feel like I can take that to heart. I can't help but believe that that's true. So, who even is still around to see this? Nobody. Yeah, the reaction videos are done. I'm just doing my my little rant about what game theory means to me. And my analytics are telling me that there's 0 people in the room. But, I'll just keep on going. Maybe I'll let in with the pity party a little too hard, but yeah, MatPat represents my ideal. Just someone with enough passion and know-how who just goes out there and does his thing, puts his best foot forward, and really finds his audience, and much more. I'm gonna do that. And, I know that one of my friends, moderator Tim, always talks about how it's never too late, and he gives me all these examples about how people in their 40s go on to make these big splashes in the world. So, never too late, despite what very well-meaning people might say to me about what it is that I'm doing with my life. So, I'm just feeling really motivated right now to create something. What that is, I don't know, but even if I just put my best foot forward, even if it doesn't lead to a media empire and friendships with all the cool creators, I just want to put myself out there, man. I think that's what I admired about MatPat more than anything else. That he just kept on going and doing what it is that he loved and being there. I know that MatPat said that he doesn't have that there aren't very many male role models out there, but he himself is being that change that he wants to see in the world. He's a role model to very many out there. And I entertain notions of being a role model myself. But that won't happen if I just continue sitting on my hands. MatPat's said it's our time. And you know what? I'm going to entertain that notion. I don't exactly want to make any promises, or maybe I should, to hold people accountable. Then again, who exactly is going to be watching this part of the VOD anyway? If you are watching this part of the VOD, let's just go ahead with the mushroom soup method. Put a comment with the words mushroom soup if you actually made it this far. That will actually surprise me if I see anything. But yeah. He really goes to show that put yourself out there, really give the you know how people are always dunking on the advice of be yourself. I think that's not just a weak non-advice. The world craves the gift of yourself, just your truest self. And only you know how to do that. And I haven't exactly put myself out there. So it really is up to you how being yourself can really be the best advice. And for me, I'll have to think long and hard about that. Hi there, AQ. Did you just tune in right now? You did wake up at a weird time. I finished all of the game theory videos, and then I started getting all introspective. But yeah. One of the issues that I think I have with myself is I don't believe I have a sense of identity. I don't know who I am as a person. So I don't even know what I'm supposed to put out there. If I were to describe myself, I wouldn't know. I'd say, I like games. I stream sometimes. I don't know. So, thank you for the mushroom soup. I think that's the one issue about me is that I'm full of all sorts of potential, but I never cash it in. I feel like if I cash in the potential, and it ends up not being anything special, then I'm left with nothing. So I hold on to that potential really close to my heart, not letting it become anything. But all I have to do is go out there and be myself. You too, huh? Well, now you're making me feel bad because I'm just putting all this bad juju out there. Gonna have to figure out how I can reverse that and start living my best life to inspire others to do so for themselves, just like MatPat did. And I think it's about time that I cashed in that potential, put myself out there, really threw my weight in there, and just be myself in front of the outer world. Is that so? Is there any particular reason why you look forward to my streams in particular? I'm not saying that for a pity party. I'm not fishing for compliments. It's just that's a really bold claim to make. So if so I would like to know what exactly it is that that can mean something so much for someone such as yourself. Hold on a second, I'm about to honk. But if you don't want to answer, that's perfectly fine. Ah. You genuinely feel like I'm sitting down and hanging out with friends. That's a good answer. That is definitely something that you can't find easily these days online, with the way things have become so algorithm driven. So I'm glad that I can give you that feeling of community, that feeling of chill and hanging out. Would you consider that to be part of my personality? That I'm chill, that I'm easy to hang out with, that I'm just really good at shooting the shit and enjoying company, sharing in interests? Because that's a good place to start. Yeah, you can't blame the creators. After all, it's the hustle that got them this far. They can't exactly stop. This place is pretty chill. Chill. That is a good place to start. I don't exactly know what I want to do with that, but I think that's another aspect of what's been keeping me down. I grew up being a prodigy in whatever it was that I cared about. So if I go into something and I'm not an immediate master, I feel like I'm not good enough, or it's just something that I'm not good with. So takes a lot of learning. And to really excel at what it is that you want to do, you got to give the time. You got to chill out. Yeah. I'm not struggling with something to say. I'm actually thinking about what it is that you brought me in. Yeah, failure is really hard. Once you really feel a stinging failure for the first time, it's hard to come back from that. But what was it? I think it was in Meet the Robinsons that when you first meet the Robinsons, an experiment goes wrong, and immediately one of them just says, "We failed!" And they celebrated it. And they said, like, yes, but failing is one of the steps towards succeeding. And I'm also reminded of Miss Frizzle, who always talked about get out there, make mistakes, get out there, get messy, make mistakes. She said in that order. And lastly, I think of Colorado Koopa, who was a character in Paper Mario, who said the line, "Success is bought with failures." And that is something I have never been able to forget. So, so his logic is, you fail enough times, and every failure is the currency with which you put into the slot machine to try for your next success. The funny thing is that I've never really failed so much as I kept cutting myself off before I could get to that point of failing. So I don't really have a bank of failures to call my own. So yeah, if you're really afraid of failure without ever actually having failing, then get that experience. Figure out what failure actually does to you, because until you actually fail, you never know what it's gonna do for you. Because and people who stew over a failure, I'm sure that there are really bad failures out there, but well, some would say that if you're hoisting yourself by your own petard, that's just something to learn from. And if you keep on making the same mistake again, then then perhaps you just have to really take stock of it. And the thing is, you can't do it alone. You need a support network. There was a time when I was a real weirdo, but I built myself a support network, and I stopped being weird. and I've been really on the mend since then. I haven't really gotten to the point where I'd go back out there and put myself out there, but I've been building up to it. It's been a good few years in the making, but everyone goes at their own pace, you know. And if you're not going at the breakneck pace that modern fame and fortune demands of you, that's perfectly fine. You just can't let conventional wisdom get to you sometimes. You just have to keep forging forward. MatPat kept forging forward. I'm sure he had some down times. The Sans' Nest episode, especially. So, if you're not bouncing your ideas off of people, and really just really, this is the weirdest analogy. You know, in Super Smash Bros. Melee, there's a black hole glitch which requires two foxes bouncing a projectile between one another. I feel like that building inspiration is kind of like that. You can't. It's like I said, no man is an island. MatPat had his entire team. His wife was on board. Dan was on board. So, yeah. And my own friends, my moderators, they've really helped me keep my passions inflamed. And just recently, I've been doing a little bit more writing. It's Final Fantasy XIV fanfiction, but it is something. It is getting the blood flowing and the brain active. So if I can just channel that energy, that feeling of community, and the fact that I'm doing something for other people, and put that into my videos and create more video essays, that I think that can lead to something. Not exactly a media empire like MatPat's, but I can at least become that person who does things, who actually tries. Because at the end of the day, every famous person, or at least anybody who really sees their dreams come true, they all started as someone who does things. And if you're not doing things, you start out small. You get a taste for it. You acclimate. It's, you acquire the taste for doing things. So, I'm creating stuff. Be proud of it. Thank you, AQ. I really didn't think much of it when I created these things, but yeah, I am doing something. I put something out in the world that someone else saw, and that enriched their lives. It's on a small scale, but it still happened. I am a capable creator of good memories and inspiration. And the fact that I haven't exactly made millions of views grossing videos doesn't take away from the fact that I still create things. So I just want to step it up just a little bit more, just the tiniest little iota. So instead of just making these small little stories, maybe something that'll be more widely viewable. Even now, we're bouncing off each other and getting that good energy flowing. You're making me feel better. I don't know if I'm making you feel better, but I'm trying to make you feel better. I'm doing something. You're doing something. So yeah, I'm glad you dropped in. Even when we were halfway through the usual 4-hour allotment. So I actually am feeling motivated to make good on my words and put a little something out there. Not exactly going to be a 10 million grossing video that makes people all across the internet weep up, but it'll be something. I don't know exactly what that something is going to look like. I have a couple of ideas. You're starting to feel better? I'm glad. But yeah, I'm now I just want to get chicken scratching. But yeah, it really doesn't matter. It really, I imagine that what am I trying to say? What people really appreciate is a person who does something and puts themselves out there, because there are millions and millions of videos out there. There are millions of stories out there. There's millions of every piece of media out there, but there is only one you out there. And even though you are not, even though, you know, there are plenty of people like you in every respect, but there still only is one you. And let me tell you, when people, the world just loves you when you put yourself out there. I mean, that comes with a whole lot of caveats, but if you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. So, if ever you're thinking, I would like to believe that ever you're thinking that your video isn't going to be as good as MatPat's, it's not going to be as good as Markiplier's, it's not going to be as good as Vinesauce is. It's not, Vsauce. Vinesauce is another streamer. It's not, my writing isn't going to be as good as George R.R. Martin. Well, the thing is, over all those people, the one thing you're better at than all of them is being you and bringing your own unique brand of passion and views on what makes the world beautiful. And if it's similar to anybody else, then that's fine. You were inspired by the same thing. But it's still your take and your take alone. And I think it's about time that I started putting myself out in the world for people to enjoy. Obviously, doing this streaming for 2 years has been a great start. In fact, I think 30 days of September, April, June. We're just about a week out from the second year anniversary of me doing this streaming. And I think after 2 years of putting myself out there for people live and in VOD form, I think it's about time that I put myself out there in a greater capacity and really showed them my passion, my testament, what exactly it is I want to add out there. And if we get more people out there, more individuals out there, I think that's one step to making the world a better place for all of the role model starved boys out there and beyond. Yeah, I'm feeling inspired. Hey Q, thank you so much for joining me in this really important part of the stream. And you too, Esteban, D-Boy, Spider Dragon, Mitsuko, Bruno the Dog, Matthew, thank you for your own cameo. I'm gonna have to take a little bit of time off to think about all these things. The hero always waits to make his appearance. Well, I've done plenty of waiting. I am a super duper hero. So, if for some reason you out there on YouTube are watching this as a VOD and you've been staring at this one screen with me this whole time and just looking at this one tiny corner of your screen, thank you. And if you I don't know. I don't know if doing the YouTube hustle thing, ironically, would just ruin the moment. But now I'm feeling silly. Like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, join the Discord for more, hopefully, more in-depth conversations like this. And, yeah. Next time we're on this stream, I will, I'll come right back to Mega Man X6 to see if I can close that out. And then in between those, you just might see a video upload from me. Because, gosh darn it, the world could use a little bit more of me. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.